to Inverness, the Great Beyond. I am your host, the Tedster, under another great night here in Inverness to the Great Beyond. We have our players in the Goblinfell Tavern, and they are getting started. So, I'm going to do a little bit of analysis from what we did last session. We did go ahead and get the sword. You guys fought a tremendous battle against one of the 7 sins. Found out a little bit about the 7 sins, and you have been talking to Mahadi both in-game and between sessions. From there, it is completely up to you what you'd like to do from here.
Well, we're all gathered here, and I see Tignum, but I'm really looking for my friend Mr. Flip.
Flip's flying around.
And I high-five him as he flies around, and then I ask Tignum, "Hey, so how are you? This is a big cluster mess that you found yourself in."
Yeah, I was doing real good until about a week ago. Kind of missed you guys, though.
Well, we missed you too, and honestly, we didn't know if we were going to see you again, if we were going to come back. So I'm at least glad to see you here. Maybe not in this location, but know that we've got some really important things and to do, and you're like the linchpin in most of that.
When I said I'll see you guys in hell, this is not what I had in mind.
Tarek just turns over and waves the both of them over to the table.
Okay. So
Tignum will wander over to the table and bring Flip along with him. Bulwark's going to stand behind him.
Okay. Thorka walks up to the table and sits at the other end.
Yeah, and Tarek basically says the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, it's good to have you back, my friend. Definitely was a piece missing.
Just please tell me there's something technological or enchanted or otherwise mineral related for me to do here."
Possibly.
I mean, I think there's a lot for you to do here. There are things that we've seen as far as items, enchantments, that we only can really make surface guesses on. And we're going to definitely need your inquisitive mind to really, get these puzzle pieces figured out.
Well, where do we start?
Well, there's Mahadi, who I don't think you've met. Well, you do know Mahadi. He was the guy with the pajama pants on.
He's the one that brought you here.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
great.
He
He's my
basically brought you here, I guess, out of the nature of his goodwill. But I know Thorka and we've had some discussions with him, and I've definitely gotten more information about him, proper, and, as Beacon can attest to, he's while very generous, he's always out for his own interests and always thinking ahead of everybody else.
And we could trust that. That is a truth that we can trust. Everything is in his interests.
I mean, he openly had said to me he would take enjoyment from sticking it to Bazant by getting Thork on his way to being released from the curse.
Well, at least he's consistent, I guess.
And apparently, as far as just like powerful, like Mahadi is powerful. He's Bazant powerful.
I mean, the way he talks of him, I feel it's not his power that keeps him from doing anything to him. It's just it doesn't. Even though he personally, it seems like he personally wants him gone, but business wise, it may not be beneficial. Not that he wouldn't let others do it. So what I'm getting at is that he's either on par or stronger than him, or at least stronger here.
All right, I'm less interested in the interpersonal politics of otherworldly beings and more interested in something I can put my hands on.
I have this magic sword here. This is the sword of Zard. This is the object of Mahadi's desire, and something that we can put on the table, as it were. He wants it as his main priority of interest.
And we're trying to take out Bozo?
Excuse me?
Byzant, yes, Bozo.
Byzant. What's you might
We
like
speak Tignum. Don't worry, we understand.
Byzant is, I don't know if we really are capable of taking him out, but currently Thork is cursed by him. And that is our quest and why we are here, is to undo this curse. We don't have a path before us of where to get the panacea, where to travel to Pandemonium. And Mahadi has offered to engage us on this venture.
Yeah, everything Beacon you just said is true. And just to add in, I think not only him guiding us to Pandemonium is on the table. Of course, let's not it's not even the least of it of regaining your soul, but he also might open up the doorway of fighting and destroying Byzant.
I'm sure that he has many keys to many doors, and I guess if we're going to engage in a negotiation with him, we need to know what we have at his disposal, or that he would want, cards at hand, as it were, and what it is that we desire.
Yes, we need to make a strong list of what we need. I say you because you're, right now you are the possessor of this item. So you need to be represented in our list of what we need.
I mean, I've touched it and been changed by it, but we obtained it as a group. So I don't, as it were, you don't need to default to as though I'm an ultimate arbiter of this thing. But I will stand against something that I believe to be wrong. If that makes sense. I think as any of us would.
Yes. It makes sense. So yeah, we need to be clear. And Tarek, I think you're the one that out of all of us is the one that's going to have to deal with him the most in this contract of a trade.
Well, it's fairly simple. I mean, the essence is to get your soul back, get us on our way to free your soul, and then anything else that we can weasel out of it.
You mentioned he has a way home.
Yes,
well.
I think we need to have a secondary plan of to get to home. I think if we can be part of the contract, that we have a guarantee way to get home through him, it should be in that contract.
sure he would be open to that.
I mean, this sword is on power. Is so powerful. It's just like I can't wrap my head around it after sitting and talking with Mahadi and him explaining some of the history behind it.
A big part of my...
So he's definitely a collector, or so he says, but I also think he just talks in a lot of half-truths.
I agree. Like he of course is not used to dealing with those who would be worthy of this sword like I am. And so the sorts of dangled bits that he could put on a hook are not something that would tempt me as it would the goblins around us.
No,
If he serves the Aaron, yes, and higher up than goblins, he calls them trash.
Yes, I mean he has essentially no moral compass, despite how charming he is, because he is. It was a pleasure to talk to, but also understanding that he has his own interests.
But in that is
Through
something
and
that we
through.
can deal it, because he wants to make a deal. We can get him in a contract.
Oh yes, that's a good example. Here's the sword.
And the other thing about him is that he is the one. If you remember the drinking game that Jabu played, which allowed us basically to do some prep work to come down here.
Actually, yes, you had given me a breakdown of some of, because you maybe have the best rapport currently with Mahadi, and I do have some questions about.
You guys don't mind if I look
He's the buyer. He's the lucrative buyer.
I agree. You spoke of the niche. You spoke of the Terra. There's a couple interesting connections.
Yeah, so all the souls that are feeding up from Inverness through the drinking game and the gambling halls are flowing through Negotium and Terra guilds. Essentially, Mahadi is buying these souls. And essentially these souls are, I believe, ending up being just more slave labor. In hell.
I think they have those tieflings that we talked to that are like the miners that need the iron, but then they also just make people into currency, and that's what our citizenry is becoming a part of.
Yes, but he has openly said it has helped with those mining efforts. And the rumor that the minerals in the I believe it was the 8th or 9th, might be 9th circle, could make very strong weapons. So he was saying, so basically just a business in itself of turning the souls, pulling the souls from our plane into hell to turn them into slave labor to dig has been a large effort.
Terrible.
So that's essentially that's essentially what's going on. So I mean, you just think about that, and the way it was said to me was in such a nonchalant manner that in some twisted way, it made me like the guy more a little.
I guess that is a curious place. Is that he derives his contractual authority not from the squalor around us. And so, if that's something that we've been presented an open, blank contract to engage him with, that's something to explore. What is he capable of? To what end?
Well, I think that's why we make our list of the things that we definitely need, and then we can put in things that we don't necessarily need but would be great. So, as an example, right?
Mhm.
We just something I've been thinking about this whole week. If we were to put in the contract, could we get away with free stay at his place while we're here, or at least before we go into Pandemonium and when we come back, because we know that that's worth a tremendous amount down here.
That should be almost a minimum, I think.
Oh, I think so too. I'm just saying we know that's worth a lot. So what else? Like, what else I think, could we ask for a guide? Could we force him into giving us a someone that will guide us where we need to go?
Maybe some sort of compass.
Yes, a compass, some sort of, I'm sure a magical implement that would guide us to it is not is definitely within his means. Or a person, one of his, he's obviously a powerful person down here, and I'm sure he has retainers. So that's what I mean. Like, what else can we throw in there other than the stuff that we need? We absolutely need. What other extras do we think are within his power that we could just ask for and take advantage of this, highly powerful artifact?
Well, I guess I want to be clear about the status of my soul in regards to my. I don't want anyone else to feel as though they're burdened with what is essentially an entirely personal quest, as it were. So yes, this sword has value, and it shouldn't be necessitated on the return of my soul. And I agree. So all these sort of things, some sort of method and assistance against Zant, maybe some sort of the angel had a necklace that maybe that could work better than using these coins on your curse. But
we could ask him for something that is better than the coins for this curse until we get rid of it. That's definitely something we could ask for. I think we need to make a list, guys. Like, we have Thorka looks around. He's kind of looking on tables and stuff. Like, is there paper? Is there
Sure. I can pull out.
Do you
pull
have
from
it?
my bag and I can
Take
bring out paper. I have plenty of scribes tools in my work. So pull a piece of paper if we want to start writing down interest those.
Okay, so like as you take out the paper, so write these things down. Like, of course, top of the list. I don't even think we have to mention it, but put on the list is your soul. That's. I don't think we even have to name that. That's just that is part of the deal that has already been said. This is all the things that have not been said, but we put it on there anyway.
All right.
We want a path to Pandemonium. We want either a guide or an implement that will help us get there. We want a guaranteed way to get back to our home when we want to come back.
Pandemonium, way home.
We could then ask him for stay in his home until we're ready to, go on the journey. Obviously, once we're on our journey to Pandemonium and there, we can't, but maybe he has... Do you guys know of anything that... magical use or something that can create... I don't know what I'm thinking of. I look at... so Thorka looks at Tignum. Have you ever heard of any kind of, like, portable home? Like, yes, there's tents, but something that is more useful?
Yeah. I haven't made one, but I can ponder on it.
So,
well, maybe he has the resources to let you build that.
Tiny huts and rope tricks and different methods of arcana to create like demi-planes, as it were.
So maybe we can combine something with that and let Tignum play with it and see if he can make something.
assumption.
You suddenly hear some stomping going up the stairs. And you see that it's the barkeep, who's also the owner of the establishment. He comes up. Hey, I just want to let you guys know you did a great job cleaning up the place. I could practically eat off the floor. Ha ha ha!
Oh, yeah.
We always do a job to the best of our abilities.
Oh wait, really? Interesting. Good to know. I'm glad that we did such a great job.
I just want to let you know, as long as you want to clean the shit and the crap in the bathhouse, you can stay here anytime. We've been making lots of money.
Well, you're a generous host. Thank you.
Well, I try to be, you know?
I'm definitely gonna kill the bartender.
I think that we have enjoyed your facilities for now.
Well,
we need to.
Well, I look over to the bartender owner. Well, thank you. We do like our privacy while we're staying here.
Alright, no problem. I'm going to head back down and serve some drinks, but don't you worry. I'll give you one on the house, just because it doesn't smell like so bad down there so much anymore. And you can hear him laughing as he walks down the stairs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
What's going on here? It's very noisy in here.
We are here. Come to the table.
We've been discussing, I guess, what our next steps are in this quest.
And we're making a list of what can we get with the trade of the sword. And so far, we have a path to the Pandemonium where we can find the Panacea, a guaranteed way to get home if the amulet doesn't work, hospitality, free hospitality before we start on our journey.
You might want to better define hospitality.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that we get access to the Wandering Emporium.
Oh, Tarek, we're making the list. You were going to sell it.
Oh, wow, that should be interesting.
You're going to sell it. This is your.
I was saying to Beacon, I mean, just because I work for a twisted guild that makes these crazy deals, doesn't mean I'm a good choice to make such a deal.
But you're the best.
I do think that you seem to have the best rapport with him. I think there's someone that should be between maybe myself with the sword and the interested buyer.
I can make a deal.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's Tarek.
You could be you'll be my right hand guy in this negotiation. You just have to sit there and just stare at Mahadri. You don't have to say a word, and that will be everything.
Oh, I'm good at staring. I would do that very well.
Yeah, your intimidation tactic.
Well, I have a question. Why do we need the sword?
Do you think?
The sword. Why do we need it?
I mean, I think need is an interesting word.
No, it's
We don't
not.
need it. It's just a means to an end, as far as I'm
But
concerned.
that's why we're trading it to him for lots of things that we need while we're down here.
To make the point, this thing is much more than just a means. This thing has ascensions, and it has a destiny. And
Whatever that is, its destiny is to get us to our ultimate goal, which is to free you two guys and get back to Inverness and everybody alive, especially myself.
it's true. We have been
So
blessed by its presence.
whether or not, I mean, unless it wants to start to plead its case why it shouldn't be traded to Mahadi, I would say I turn to the and I'm like, the sword has the floor.
So,
I'd like to think for a second. I need to catch up. I'm buffering. Just one moment.
I guess that's a curious notion. I don't. At most, I could sense emotions doesn't communicate.
Tarek is saying that in a completely sarcastic.
But I'm actually answering you in a realistic manner.
Dripping
What if you just destroy the sword?
We
No, excuse me.
Destroy the sword.
You think you're capable of that?
There's that, and then, well, that ultimately was the discussion I was having with Beacon earlier, was there's two paths to this. There's, I want to say, there's the deadly path and the deadlier path. We can make the trade and actually get way ahead in the path to completing our ultimate goal, which is getting back to Inverness alive with you guys' souls. That's the whole point. The other one is keeping the sword and now entertaining this idea of destroying the sword.
I'm still not entertaining that. I'm not on board there.
Destruction is not an entertainment.
There's a party here that everybody's going to enjoy. I think we should talk about every option there is. So, but those are in essence the two paths. Either make the trade or don't make the trade. And then the rest of it is just fine-tuning.
I agree. I think that my meditations have brought me that this thing's ultimate destiny is not for me. It is not my sword. It is the sword of Zarya. And though I've been blessed to have been deemed worthy to be its bearer for a time, and Mahadi could be proven to be where this thing needs to go next. And this thing is adjacent and perhaps coincidental to our path towards Pandemonium. And we can use it as a means, as you say. That's different than handling it for the righteous thing that it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're not handling it as the, and again, Tarek's air quoting the righteous thing that it says. That's why I was leaving the floor open for the sword to.
Oh, I mean, I guess.
Speak now or forever hold your peace. I mean, if it is a sentient being or whatever it is.
Ted, I guess.
If not, it's going to be a means to an end. I mean, and
Sentient
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Excuse.
I don't want to speak for the whole party, but I think that's just the way. I think that's the way it's leading.
I mean, I agree. What was that, Tignan?
Bulwark flipping me want to keep the sword alive.
I mean,
Well, it would be alive. It just wouldn't be in our possession anymore.
This thing is.
I care less about where it goes as long as it don't get destroyed.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think that will be our option. I think Beacon speaks with wisdom after his meditation, and that's why I'm just trying to we need to figure out what we are going to ask for.
I think that I might want to see if he would be open for stipulation. If he wants this for his collection, I guess that's fine. That's different than this being given into the hands of evil, as it were. If that makes sense. So, if I could put some stipulations on its resale, or where, we don't want him turning around and giving this to the Lich or something, right? I don't
Yeah,
know.
you want to find out where is it going once it passes to his hands, and see if he'll tell you, and and if that's in.
I think he has told us. He's told us his interest, and I want to, in a sale of this, and negotiate. That's my hesitancies.
It would be he would secure the sword and either keep it in his collection or essentially use it in another deal. And what that deal is unknown, and who the person or the group of people that could be involved in that deal, that's unknown.
For some reason we've been able to defeat Wrath, and then we're not a worthy successor to whatever it is that the Sins are doing. But I think Mahadi could understand that better than we do.
I find it hard to believe that the sword thinks Mahadi's the next chosen person to hold this thing just based on the fact that he's essentially buying souls and bringing them down here, and it's being turned into slave labor from our point. So that to me is, I don't see how anything, again, Tarek is air quoting, or this holy relic would think that. So again,
unless we are just one, and Deacon spoke on this, as he is just the person right now in possession of it, where its final destination is, it could be two destinations from us, it could be 1,000 destinations before it gets to where it needs and wants to be. It's really, we cannot fathom what it's supposed to be.
It won't speak in words. It won't turn its light on and off. And if you guys want to see some sort of thing, like, for the truth there, it has a will, and if it did not want me to attune to it and create this transformation and give me wings, that would not have occurred without its will. So it has judged me to be a bearer. And give me a moment to sort of see what the sword feels about this, what we have in store for it. And I pick the sword up and sort of meditate on it for a moment. Look at the loft. To hear if it has any emotions about how
As you meditate on the sword itself, you start to feel its emotions, and you know that its emotions are paramount to what it feels, and it just seems to feel like a calmness. You're not sure how to translate that.
Well, I guess I can just speak out loud. It seems calm, which in the opposite doesn't mean if it doesn't seem threatened or as though it's hurt. So while I'm holding it, it seems fine. It chose me to bear it for now. And I think as long as I'm true to it and who I am, it should be fine with how we handle it. Hadi could prove to be where this thing needs to go, and I could see that I can neither see nor am I even capable of executing this thing's ultimate destiny. And so I can only help it.
well, let's help get it out of here.
So
Agreed.
what else do we need?
So when I said access to the Wandering Emporium, I meant basically if he could provide, because essentially what the Emporium is what I think it is that, I mean, that's his little plane of existence.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think he goes when he walks out of this place. That's where I think he goes and gets all his food and his little treats and all that fun stuff.
Hey guys, I just had a really bad idea.
Okay.
Now, we're trying to take down Bozo, right?
Yes.
What if we trap him in a sword?
I did want to ask you, Lorca, about what you did to Raph.
I don't think any of y'all just took my suggestion seriously.
No, I actually did, because he just put Raph into that lightning sword.
So it's not that I put him into the sword. The sword has a function. It might be one of its most powerful functions, but it's not infinite. I do know that the sword can become exhausted from this feature, but it will activate when we are facing beings of massive power. That essentially, once we've, to just put it into a basic, simple term, once we've softened it up just like me attacking it over and over again, and you guys attacking it over and over again, Raph got to a point where he was not yet dead, but he was weak enough for the sword to use divine powers to destroy him, to eradicate him, to just, he is no more. So it's one of its features. It is something it can do.
The holy blade.
That I figured out, but it's not something I can control. But I do know it's something that can only happen a certain amount of times before it just exhausts itself. So it's something that will hopefully come in handy. But no, I do not. I do not think I have the essence of wrath in the sword.
You feel fine.
I feel exactly the same, but I understand where the thinking came from. Now, to go back to Tignum about trapping Byzant, and in air quotes, Bozo, into the sword, I have no idea if that's something that can be done.
I didn't say that sword, I said a sword. Or a mace, or a shield, or a pair of shoes, I don't know.
It's a love divine power.
I don't know the ability
sort of
behind
divine
that.
vessel, but perhaps.
Yeah,
All I'm saying is maybe I can work something out.
I think you should. I think it's something you could definitely look into.
I will say, if we do that, we need somewhere to put the sword / shield / pair of shoes, because if one of us is carrying it around, well, we've got bad news in our back pocket.
At some point, Jambu, you had an idea about a soul cage or something when we were trying to deal with the curse.
We could try dispelling it.
Well, possibly if we...
Or just take the sword and throw it right into the fires of hell.
Would that release him? Would it destroy him utterly?
I don't know.
What sword? Which sword?
This supposed item, if we were to trap Bison in, but again, I think we're also we're trying to cross a bridge we're nowhere near.
Yeah, we need to get the deal.
Yeah, but none of us know how to trap anyone in the sword, do we?
No.
I might.
But it could be a project.
It could be something you could ask from Mahadi, some sort of mechanism for him to...
I ain't asking him for shit. I'll make it myself. I ain't never paid anyone to do my work in my life.
Well, you could get
Tarek sighs, and he just...
I look at Tarek, and I side with him. I'm like, okay, back to this list, guys. So we need a guide or an implement to guide us to Pandemonium. We need that. I don't know if it's within his power. I don't think he can just boom zap we're there, but he can definitely give us a way to get there.
It's Beacon Soul, a direct path to Pandemonium, and basically, if not, where exactly we need to go.
And a way home.
I got a quick question.
Sure.
Is this more like a wish list or more like a hostage negotiation?
Yes.
That's like a hostage negotiation / wish list. Absolutely.
Yes. Column A, column B.
It's a business transaction.
How much does he want the sword? Because clearly he wants it.
So we need a guide, you're saying?
We need let's break it down. There's some sort of way to walk from here to Pandemonium. We don't know what that even is. And then once we get there, or even how to get there, we need something to point us, or to find a way to find the Panacea Elixir.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be right back.
So, oh no. All right. So
I'm going to the next floor.
Okay.
Somebody needs
Wait. Can we just stop him? Can we just stop him before he starts?
Somebody needs to follow him.
Dagus, can you go follow him?
Okay, the guy will go downstairs.
Tarek just starts slamming his bile whiskey.
Okay. Now, Tarek. So, when you're talking about like letting us into the Emporium, do you also mean giving us access to resources from the Emporium? Like we have a certain amount of free access to items,
Yeah, I basically
supplies.
basically having not been there, I wanted to try and word it to where, all right, we have access. I mean, within reason.
Of course, because if we go too far, and I don't even know where too far is with him, but if we go too far, it could ruin the whole deal.
I mean, I look at it this way: the worst thing he's going to say is no.
Yeah, and then we renegotiate. But there's certain things that I feel like the access to the Emporium is one of those things where if we have to give up, we can give up. But everything else we need. Now I look over to Beacon. Now Beacon, I know, what you said before.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically just, I wanted to say access to the Emporium from wherever we were at. If we needed
I want to learn more of Mahadi, and then what would be the fate, as he sees it, of this sword.
I think you can ask him. I think you're within your rights to just ask him. Now, will he answer you with an answer you'll like? Who knows? But I think you can ask him.
From what Tarek said, it seems as though his answers are likable. So, something I listen to at least.
I think we also have to make sure that if we need to renegotiate or, before the exchange of the sword, make sure that nothing's too concrete if we have to change certain elements as we're talking to him.
If we're making wish lists, I'd like a bag of magic stones.
I feel like we can get that. Why not? I feel like him giving us things like that aren't.
I think we'll see. I think we have probably get his way of. He knows what we're here to do, and he probably has something from his opinion of something that maybe we're ill prepared for. Because none of us have experience in hell, let alone pandemonium. We can engage him as sort of a counsel in our quest, and in exchange for him becoming the keeper of this sword.
I mean, I think it's a pretty good idea. I mean, out of everyone we've met here, we need someone we can communicate with that might give us at least a half-truth of insight that we can follow. That's more than anyone else can give us.
Do we want to go try talking to him?
Let's go talk to him now before Jabu gets into trouble.
Yeah, Jabu's okay. Jabu's gonna come up and behind Jabu.
So Thork is gonna start leading the way downstairs.
The guy will have them like a little knock on the stairway and to say they'll like hurt.
The hell? Where are we going?
We're gonna go downstairs and start talking about this stuff with the man.
Oh,
we don't have to bring the sword to this.
And Thorka kind of nudges Tarek and Beacon to kind of go, together at the to the table.
Tarek walks up behind Jabu and just kind of grabs his little shoulders, and I lean over him. I go, "All right, what are you doing?"
You scared me, did you?
Yes. What are you doing? And
All
I
right.
say, and I say hello to Mahani.
Oh, I'm making moves. I watch you, and I'm learning from you. I asked the bartender over there. He said to me, He said, Mona, me, you gotta go over here and you gotta talk to this guy I'm trying to talk to. And he give us a guide over to that place we need to go, Pandemonium. He said he'd do it for us, but we gotta pay him.
Okay.
And I was asking how much he's gonna cost. I didn't sign nothing or nothing. Look, my hand's not even on the table.
Hadi. I guess he is asking an interesting question.
Progress.
Did I do good?
Yes, absolutely. You didn't sign anything. That is showing such huge progress. I'm very pleased.
Well, I kind of forgot my pen upstairs, but it doesn't matter. The point is, I gotta make a deal here. So what you say, Mahadi? How much is it gonna cost me to pay you now? He must be shy.
Are you muted?
I said, you know, what I can do for you, Jabu, is that I can, if it's just you, and what I can see that you have is just your soul and the magic items that you possess. You know, your soul is worth much value. You can I can bring you there and protect you, and with your soul, you'll be free to roam Pandemonium at will.
What if I give you a soul coin?
Soul coin is not good enough for me, my friend. It would have to be your mortal soul. There's a significant difference, but if you're willing to listen, I'd be willing to explain it to you.
So I think we are maybe as a group willing to listen to what you have to offer.
Okay, well, I've only heard of one thing right now. I'm gonna finish up with Jabu. So, you know, Jabu, a soul coin cannot have the soul very easily extracted from it. Essentially, the only thing a soul coin is good for is the usage of currency down here, but your soul, not being attached to a coin, can be used for the most glorious of reasons. We can use you as a demon in the depths to serve my lord and elsewise. So your soul is much more useful than a soul coin in that sense. Okay, so what else can I do for you now? I've been waiting down here for about a week, off and on.
Quite patient, oh you, I guess. We are interested, I guess, in you have explained your interest. And so I guess I want to learn more of you. You've talked to Tarek some. I want to learn more of your interest in the sword.
Well, I'm interested in the sword. I mentioned that to you before. The sword itself can be put into my collection, or you know, I can do many different things with this sword. It is important to me based on its power because someone of the sins was removed, and that is not an easy feat. So, you know, that is good, and it allows me to take something to my lord, who is always appreciative of that as well.
And your lord's name is?
Or Asmodeus.
Oh. Okay. That makes some things clear, I guess. And to what end are you capable of providing for this interest? I guess if you add it to your collection, then you understand that it's important, and I don't wish for its destruction.
don't care about the destruction of the blade, I feel that that would be much more difficult than otherwise Afra mentioned. I don't think Asmodeus even cares about the destruction of the blade, because even though it is committed with good energy, as I can feel it emanating from you, it doesn't really matter to him in regards to that. What we cared about is that it is in one place and cannot be used again. So we will place it under somewhere or some way. We'll put it somewhere so that it is safe, and that will be that.
So you don't have another buyer for it, or some type of other deal beyond that?
Well, my deal is with others by making sure that the sword is not used again. I think that is a deal enough for some people in mind.
I don't think I like that.
I think you're saying that you would be open to some further, if you're discussing your possession of this, then you would be open to some stipulations before I bequeath it.
Well, I asked you to name your price. I mean, there is only a certain volume that I am willing to go to, and there's a couple of deals that I always have ready and available. So, you know, if you wanted to work out a deal like that, I have those deals available as well.
Maybe that is perhaps our issue here, is that we're having a hard time imagining our desires, as it were. Beyond, of course, my own soul. But that's putting that aside, that seems to pale in comparison to what this fate of this sword.
He puts a scroll on the table in front of him, and then he says, "This is what I have for you. This is what I can do. This is a infernal scroll. I'm going to teach you all because I'm sure that you're not very familiar with it. So, infernal scrolls, once they are signed, they are an agreement from me to you. It's very simple and very easy. All the deals must be presented to you without alteration, and they're not negotiable. In all such agreements, normally I only want one thing, to give up your soul. But in this case, it's a little bit different. But I do have deals that are available. So if you don't care about your soul, we are always looking for a deal in that sense. We can turn you into, give you a infernal bloodline to myself as a tiefling. You could get a special item that will help you on any quest that you pertain for the rest of your days. And all of those only require you to give up your soul. Now, if you decided to give up your soul that way, you know, it's very simple. You know, if once you are strong enough, or if at any point, and unfortunately you reach an untimely demise, you will become a pit fiend. You will not be treated poorly, and you'll be in services of Asmodeus. Now, if you don't know what a pit fiend is, I will tell you. It's very simple. It's a big, gigantic, hulking monster, and he's got a gigantic whip-like tail. He's enormous wings. It wraps himself around like a cloak. Armored scales, fanged maw that drips a venom that can lay the mightiest mortal creatures low. So it's a very strong being, and it's made with one soul. It's very simple. So, like I said, it's not like we're going to use you for slave labor. You would simply sign your soul away, and you'd have something for the rest of your days. Now, that being said, the sheet of paper that I put out for you is simply put the agreement for you to give me the sword. Now you can see right here, and he points out a section that he wrote out himself. You can see right here that it says, very simply put, you would only be giving away the sword. Now, it is up to you as far as what you'd like to do and what you'd like me to add on to this scroll to give you. But I do have a limit myself. So please let me know, and I will tell you if it's negotiable or if it's not.
Well, Tarek, would you like to?
Sure. So I say Mahadi. I said, of course, there's going to be more. There's going to be a little bit of negotiation, I guess. But so, I guess we're looking to get back Beacon Soul, which you have.
Aye, that was a very good deal that I got there for his soul. So it worked out for me.
Yeah, I hope it in turn turns into a good deal for us as well. But along with that was a direction and a path to Pandemonium and some type of guidance to find the Panacea elixir that's in Pandemonium.
Aye, I know of it. Pandemonium is very dangerous. So ultimately what that would entail is that you would stay with me a while in the Wandering Emporium, and we would traverse the layers of hell. Now, we've already encountered one of the sins. And there is almost a sin for every layer, and we will not be able to get to the next one without defeating it. So ultimately, at the end of the day, we're going to have to defeat all the sins and then get to Pandemonium and deal with what's there. You're talking about a great and mighty coil that you're putting yourselves in, so I wish that you were ready for this before you decide on that. Can you say, without a shadow of doubt, that your party is ready to partake in something like this?
I believe in Flip.
No, but for true, you have given us just in that sentence some more information about hell and the terrain around us than we're aware of. That's why, if you can understand the quest, then we would be interested in your counsel in regards to completing this.
Beacon, I just want you to understand that I'm not your friend in this situation. I'm definitely someone who is a merchant more than anything else. I am a kind and generous one who obviously is thinking ahead, but I don't want you to think of me as someone who will double cross you, but I also don't want you to think as someone who is just simply going to give you something without something else in response. I'm giving you an information because I'm trying to be nice to you, because ultimately at the end of the day I do want that sword. So, and I don't want to see you all crumble under sin. I've never seen one of the sins be defeated before, and the fact that you stumbled upon one is luck, but I don't feel that the rest of them are going to be as lucky, if you know what I'm saying to you.
Alright, so we have here a list that we've written out of, how many did we write it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 general ideas of what maybe we've thought of that we need, and perhaps some of the Wandering Emporium is the way towards the Panacea. If there's a way that we could come up with some sort of stipulation to put that into writing, I guess, would be the task at hand.
Well, I would just write it here on the scroll. So you just tell me what you want, and I'll tell you if it's doable for me.
Just want to go through the rest of 5.
And also, I'd like to just add, Marty, that we're, as you said, none of us have so much experience. So that's why I asked the question. As we write things down and maybe possibly don't word things correctly, and we need to finalize it before the passing of the sword. Is that doable? As you write things, you can maybe amend it before the sword passes to you, because we want to, we want mutual things. You want the sword, we need help.
Mahadi looks at you and says, I can't hide anything in this if I wanted to, because Beacon is in possession of the sword and have found him worthy, so he is able to see beyond the sight of any of you. If I ever tried to hide anything on this scroll, you will see any extra things that I put on here. I am not a djinn or anything of that sort, so we will fix anything that I write down to make sure that it is correct. I'm not worried about that.
That is what I'm trying to get at, where if we ask for a red cup and we decide that we want a blue cup, it is not a difficult thing for you to just make it a blue cup.
Correct.
Just to make it simple and understandable for everyone here.
Yes, it would not be an issue at all.
Then, Tarek and Beacon, please continue with the list, and let's try to word things the way it needs to be on this contract.
Let's see. You've given us a path to Pandemonium, a way home, and that seems built in. The path there is built into what the Emporium has to offer. And I guess beyond that, the panacea is still something that we are. I mean, it's an object of myth, and so once we obtain our path to Pandemonium, then our quest will continue. But is that something you can assist us with?
I can't help you with the panacea elixir. It's guarded by someone I can't hurt.
Well, not so much get us to the panacea, but I think what we are going at, if we get the Pandemonium, we then need to get to the panacea. Is that correct, Mahdi? Is that like you know these lands far better than we do?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, once you get to Pandemonium, you'll be able to find where the panacea is guarded, which will be inside of a temple. And then you can go inside of the temple to go ahead and retrieve it. I assure you, it's not going to be an easy fight. It will not be a cakewalk. I don't.
Can you get us to the temple?
I can get you as close as I can to the temple. So I don't know if you understand how the sins work, but they can't be damaged by fiends, demons, anything that is down here, that is native down here. So, if there is a fiend there that is guarding it, I don't know if there is or there isn't, I can't do anything to it. So, I don't want to run that risk, because the best I can do is either teleport away or die, and I don't have any plans of dying from a contract. I don't have to stick my neck out for myself.
Well, we don't necessarily want you to deal with anything like that. We just want to make sure you can get us there, and then possibly the directions to get to the temple, and then we will either deal with it or not. That's pretty much what I'm asking. Will we be able? Can you guide us? You're obviously taking us to Pandemonium, but then can you guide us to the temple where we know where to go?
I see. So, I'll do the best I can to get you there. We have to go through each layer of hell. It's at the last layer. So, we're going to be going pretty deep. So, it's going to be a wonderful ride, I guess. That is what I can assure you.
I look over at Tarek. I'm like, what do you think?
So, basically, it's like this. Part of the we get Beacon Soul back. Part of the way, there's a lot of this that runs all together. Part of the path to Pandemonium basically will entail us going to the Emporium with you and then traversing layer by layer And I'm assuming having a defeating a sin by sin by sin down to the 9th layer. To where then we would be close to a temple to get the panacea elixir.
Well, let's talk about something else for 1 second. So, obviously, you have tasted the food that has been with you, and you've drank the liquid that is with you, and it does not really taste well, and for the obvious reason, that is how it tastes down here in Damnation. So, do you also know what happens if you die down here and you don't have a means to revive someone? Well, after a certain period of time, or if they're attempted to be removed from damnation or the planes, their soul is lost forever. This is not the place to pass from. So, I assure you that, and I will not. That is a very fine stipulation. I will not revive anyone without a fee. I will tell you that right now. I do have a priest of Asmodeus handy to do so, and do a true resurrection, but I will not do that for free, and not for the sword. So just keep that in mind. You're walking a more perilous journey than you otherwise understand here.
Well, then if it's so perilous, I mean, do you know of any other options to get the elixir to break the curse?
Well, if you want to break the curse, you only have really 2 options. You could drink the elixir, and then the curse will be lifted, or you can follow through with Byzant's ridiculous demands, as he is a piece of dragon trash, and you can follow all of his commands. He will demand gold from you at first, and then he will demand sacrifices, and then eventually he will demand you to swear to him. And after you swear to him, he will even give you the opportunity for more power. I've seen it several ways, several times. He is not a good person.
Well, like you said, he's a filthy dragon.
Correct.
And I would not like to do that, but I would like to break this curse and then destroy that filthy dragon.
Well,
and I feel that is something we have in common. We don't want him around anymore.
Well, I'm certainly willing to help you with that, and it does sweeten the deal a little bit with me, but keep in mind that the power that I get comes from my god, Asmodeus. So, I can only go so much until Asmodeus tugs on my shoulder, theoretically speaking, and whispers in my ear and tells me, no, I'm not willing to do that. And I go, okay, I get it. So I will do everything I can to give you as much leeway as possible, but, we can move on and see what we can do.
I think that's fair. Okay, so being, traveling with you in the Emporium, is it as part of the deal with the sword, that would be free stay with you as we travel and we protect the Emporium from, as we travel?
That depends. I can do that, but that is barring destroying someone in my Colosseum. It's very important. Asmodeus is very excited that you're here and wants you to deal with something at my Colosseum in the Wandering Emporium. And as such, that would be very, very helpful. So if you were to destroy him, you would have an unlimited amount of time as you are down here to spend time in the Wandering Emporium.
I'll do it.
It's like we're home.
Opportunity.
I'll do it.
the good news is Asmodeus says that you can keep whatever it has on it. So it's even one step closer than better.
Curious to see what the Wandering Emporium has to offer.
And he has this, like, almost sinister smile on his face.
So I asked Mahadri, I'm like, please just humor me. What is it in the Colosseum that you're talking about? Like, what are we talking about here? That you want us to take care of?
Tarek, you've been so good to me. Do you want me to tell you the truth, or do you want me to lie to you?
That was telling the truth.
You tell me what you would feel would help me the most. Mahadri.
It's someone that neither I or Asmodeus can deal with. And unfortunately, it has been appearing every time we've attempted to have another Colosseum fight. But we feel that with your great and strong muscles, you'll be able to deal with it.
Can you tell us what is the nature of this thing that you guys cannot deal with?
Yeah, why can't you guys take care of it? You guys are
Is it a law? Is it a
pretty
power
powerful
thing?
and
Is it a
connected.
law thing? Is it a taboo to deal with it?
We've tried to use our powers against it, and it doesn't seem to be affected.
Quite the curiosity.
Asmodeus doesn't want me to give you any more hints. He's just told me. But I love giving hints.
Well, I mean, Jabu said he's down.
I like riddles.
Well, there you go. Tignum's down for the riddle. This is no different than what we've done the whole time we've been together. So I will do it if it means free stay while we're working towards pandemonium. So that just leaves the rest of you.
I agree. Seems like a task. Attempt.
Is there anything else that you'd like other than those two things?
So,
What have we all agreed upon so far? I'm sorry, I was playing rock, paper, scissors with Flip.
so we're getting Beacon Soul. We are going to do this task to gain free stay while we're being taken to Pandemonium and taken as close as we can to the temple where the Panacea is while fighting our way through the levels of hell.
And what does, this, if we defeat whatever is in the Colosseum, what does free access mean? Does that mean, like, not just stay there, that we basically have free access to anything that's in there? Or, because not having been there, I don't really know what is offered in what sounds like your fabulous little plane of existence there.
Yes. So what it actually means is that you will have access to food, drink, and sleep, and a place to stay while you are there for free. That also means you can take a shower, take a bath, and get your hair cut, whatever you really like. I cannot offer you any of the items or things that we sell there. Those you would have to use your coins to go ahead and purchase, and that is fine, but any of the services that I can provide there for you, you can stay there for as long as you'd like while you are down here. Now, once you decide to go back up to Inverness again, that is the fulfillment of my contract. So just keep that in mind.
I still want to advocate for the bag of magic rocks.
I don't think that I would be interested in giving you any magic rocks. You know, I'd have to look to see if I have anything like that. But you know, the only magic rocks that I can remind myself of are some very powerful rocks.
I mean, you hang out with all sorts of. Anyway,
I could maybe say that if you've spoken of some plan to place this sword, if we could write in some stipulation about some worthy of in its resale.
Well, we're not going to resell the sword. I had mentioned this before. We have no plans to do anything with the sword other than to put it somewhere where it can't be used, and because of that, other people will pay me for that. So it works out for me in both ways.
Interested part. I understand, and I guess with that sort of understanding, maybe this. The idea is I have understood. I can believe that this sword is not meant for me, and if we can agree to give the sword, but then it's perhaps that you could observe something that would be better suited. You have something within your emporium that you might believe would be better suited for me, or something for I don't know what sort of things Jabu or Tarek you might see of them that we are wholly unprepared for.
Well, I mean, I will do the best I can to see if there's anything there, but I will tell you that it is very likely that there's nothing that is there. I mean, what are you really looking for? I mean,
to compare to the value of the sword, this is beyond comparison. So some sort of implements or compass or tool.
I still think that surely a one-of-a-kind sword should be worth a bag of magic rocks.
Yes, I cannot offer something like that. If we can't make a deal, then you know, your souls are obviously available. But
so Thorka's just gonna butt in a little bit here, where like the other thing, because you just mentioned it, once we go back to Inverness, and that is the end of the deal, when we retrieve the Panacea and from the temple, and we've gotten it out, can you give us a guarantee in the contract to send us to Inverness, to send us back?
Mr. Magic Man, I'll wait.
He looks down, and he looks at you and says, "I'm sure that was very smart of you to mention that, because once you get to the second layer, that little magic item that Beacon has is not going to work. So sure, I'll include it."
So I return home.
What?
Using access to the Emporium, and it stores chance to a challenge to meet to try for a stay.
Any type of discount for any of the wares that you would sell there?
That is up to the merchants that are there. I don't have access to sway with them in some essences. It is up to Asmodeus.
And everyone, remember, we're going to be fighting things, guys. We're going to have to...
Mr. Magic Man,
deal with things that we can maybe barter with once we fight them.
I would like to point out that I was in the middle of a very long, involved, deeply personal project from whence you whisked me by my underpants and dropped me into this hellhole. If you can't offer me no magic rocks, what can you offer me?
Well, I mean, I can offer you to go back. I mean, I only brought you down here to show a sign of confidence and good faith with these individuals. So,
Where the hell's my good faith?
well, I mean, you're with your friends now, as far as I understand them to be.
I think it's worth mentioning that more often than not, I like things more than I like people.
Well, that is good to know. Let's see. So, and he looks into his pockets, and he's funneling through. Okay, I have this, and he puts it onto the table. It looks like a crystal, and it's swirling with silver mist inside. I can add this as a bonus for the signing up. If you want to add this to it, and then great, then that's great.
All right, y'all can finish negotiating. I'm happy with whatever that is.
I'll take a look at it, take them, see what it is.
All right.
Yeah,
Look
what
over
is
at Tarek, like, and kind of in a posture of like, is there anything we've missed? What can,
Are
be
any
good?
of my tools relevant in assessing this or no?
No, it would just be an Arcana check.
I mean, the ultimate thing would be that if any one of us were to die while we were down here, some way that we're secured in some manner to be potentially not left down here.
But I think isn't that what he just explained us? If we do die down here,
He has
that's it.
the point has access to a priest that we can engage resurrection. I guess one of the concerns might be like a hellfire weapon that would automatically damn us like
He
that.
can't do it. That would have to be negotiated in a side deal. So.
I guess that we can engage that once we are at the Emporium, seemingly.
I mean, I kind of look at Thorgan. I'm like, I mean, I guess so. I mean, we're already down here. It just seems like it's going to be a long, difficult road.
It's definitely going to be long and difficult, and that's why we need to be together on this, because that's the only way we're going to do it.
The only thing I would like to have, just as a little tidbit, is when we leave the confines of the Emporium on whatever level of hell that we're at, that I think it's easy to get turned around in trying to figure out where you're trying to go and things. If there was something Mahadri had that would make that navigation back to the Emporium easier, once we're out and about.
Yes, I would just give you a stone. You would place it onto the ground and step on it, and anyone that you're holding will get teleported to the Wandering Emporium.
I have much experience with demi-plane, so it's interesting. That would be that way.
I think that would be very, very helpful. And,
Yeah, and what would be the when you were to use that, like how close would everyone have to be
We could all be holding hands.
together, or would it be just us involved with just all of a sudden?
You all have to be holding each other in some way. Hold hands, hold your legs, hold whatever else body part you want. Whatever you want. You just have to be holding.
A group hug.
Right, exactly. I just wanted to make sure that was. It's going to be that the escape, the quick escape.
So I guess Beacon, if you're okay with this, and Byzant, just for one more tiny aside. Now, when we talked about going after Byzant, is this a in the contract thing, or is it say we're mutually helping each other out where he gets destroyed by mine and our hands, or he doesn't?
This is just for the sword.
No, I understand. I'm talking about what we spoke about Byzant. Is it within the contract, Mahadi, or is this between us as mutual benefactors of the destruction of Byzant?
Well, this is just between us as mutual benefactors. Asmodeus doesn't care about Byzants, you know. It's
Then I'm
Of course
fine with everything. Beacon, if you're fine, then let's do this.
I understand you want the sword up front. Or is that to be engaged? Is that we're putting into have the Wandering Emporium be engaged for the duration of our quest down through the wares of hell and in towards this temple in Pandemonium, and for that duration until our use of your offer to return us to Inverness and home, we'll be able to have room and board in the Wandering Emporium. Well, once we do this task at the Gladiator Pit, we're getting the chance, I guess, to do that. Otherwise, it would be a pay. But so we're the chance to try to have room and board, but you would be willing to, after, regardless, access to the Emporium in this way for the duration of our quest.
Well, I think we're slaying something to get free access.
Right. And then by the end of this, the way home, and that would be at the cost of this sword.
yes, that's
you're
correct.
buying this sword with that as payment.
Yes, so you will then, once you sign this contract, you will give me the sword. We will go and teleport together to the Wandering Emporium, and then you would start your task by going to the Colosseum, and yes, and that is it. I hope you're all ready, and you just let me know, and he starts to write out everything that you specified on the scroll.
Well, I'll pay attention and watch it and read it in front on. It seems well, I guess, as well, if we're all seeming like that. It's so it's up front, we're giving the sword, and that'll be our plan. Do we all feel like this is something? Do I have to sign? The whole group has to sign?
The whole group would have to sign.
Oh.
For the access to the Emporium, I guess, is what we're doing here.
Yes.
Interesting. So, what do we feel about that, everyone?
I feel like I'm going to sign it then. If you read the contract and it's exactly what we talked about, then I'm ready to continue.
I know Tarek's gonna have some sort of about signing and stipulations, but we can put in something.
Well, I mean, as far as this goes, this is just providing me access to the Emporium as we
right, like that the stones
etc.
wouldn't work on just anybody.
So my soul is not involved in any way, shape, or form. Other than if I happen to die, there would have to be some type of side negotiation with some of Mahadi's contacts.
And Mahadi speaks up when you say that, and he says, "Yeah, you got it." He understands, so I'm glad.
That we seem understand.
Right, and as I read the contract, do I see anything, to the best of my knowledge, that there's nothing shady there?
It's in Infernal, but right now, since Beacon has True Sight still, because he's still attuned to the sword, he sees.
That's part of the transformation.
Yeah, he doesn't see anything out of the ordinary. There's nothing
When I
randomly.
read Inferno, I'm a thief.
Yeah, I don't want to have it to be the fine print of like fizzy lifting.
There's no sort of illusionary language onto the contract. I think that's maybe what the scroll does, and we're stipulating out some sort of the not resale, the chance to stay.
Well, we know that
Access
he's
to
just keeping it. That's the deal. He wants to
Right,
have
he's adding it to his collection, and then
of everything.
He says he's keeping it, whether or not that, just leave it at
I think that we
that. I
can-
mean, you guys just
Yeah.
have to let that go and just, leave it at that.
And then he finally finishes all the writing. Alright, so at the bottom of the contract, it's very standard. You will all sign your name. If you'd like to read it beforehand, absolutely. If you can speak Infernal, I will walk back and let you read it. And he walks a little bit backwards, and the scroll is still sitting there on the table with a quill ready to be signed.
Yeah, we might take turns.
And the only thing, Tarek just like looks at everyone and just says, the only thing I can say is just read it again. I don't see anything, and then I'll sign it after everybody else does.
Yeah, I guess we start. Yeah, if we can. If everyone seems fine with the stipulations of what's to be gained, if everyone has any hesitancy.
I'm all good.
I'm okay with it.
All right, we can just all take turns. Then we will sign. You need to sign your real name. That's. Shabu, do you know how to sign? Not yet. Yes. Do you know how to sign? Place you've signed several now. You can't like fake it. And there's a signature, and I'll lay the sword down onto the table. The guy. And then you will also take his turn. Mahadi, your counter signature, I guess, for this is the next phase.
And we should do this deal with the sword in a closed room. That's all I suggest.
Do we? I mean, Mahadi's the one in interest. Why not just do it here?
I don't want to do it out in the open, do you?
Seems he dies.
Eh,
That's all I'm following. But if you agree with that, we can do that. I'd like to see the Emporium personally. I think
I'm just figuring from the eyes are watching kind of thing, and news can travel faster than you think it can.
I think it's just fine, and it's fine in the sense that this isn't something that we shouldn't be deceptive about. This is a deal to be made, and I guess its appearances will cause ripples, but that's something we're trying to hide, right?
Paranoia has kept me alive this long.
Mahadi, if you are available, we could maybe bring this to some sort of office of yours, that's something you can arrange.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. When you're done signing, you can just come over to here. And he kind of misty steps over here, and then he comes down here. And you see that the goblin seems to kind of hurriedly step out.
Quick follow suit doesn't work.
Eric lets out a big sigh and just walks in the room. He goes and sits in the corner, props his feet up.
Kapu, are you going to come with us? Take them?
I think Jabu is currently AFK. He's dealing with a sore throat. So we're just going to assume that.
he said he was...
Oh, I missed if that was a clarification.
So we'll assume he came.
Dorka, are you with us?
I'm here. I put it in chat. Ted, I need you to do the token thing again because I had to reboot my computer because it crashed.
Gotcha.
Oh, no, that's fine.
just took care of it. I did it.
A very interesting shot
Yes.
indeed. But curious.
So I've followed. Where are you guys? Okay, here. So I followed you here.
Yes, we're in the room before. No rooms before.
So
Yeah.
when you and Mahadi speaks out loud. When you all provide the contract back to me signed, then we can get started. And he smiles.
Thorka signs.
Yes, Beacon and Taga have signed.
Tignum signs. Flip and Bulwark sign too.
And it's assuming Jabu signs.
I don't think Jabu has a
Like-
problem signing anything.
I think
Yeah.
neither Flip nor Bulwark actually can.
And after Jabu signs, I just walk up and I just shrug my shoulders and just make some. I do an X and walk away.
Every time somebody assigns, you see that the writing almost seems like it's magical in some way. It's almost like even though no matter what mark you put onto that, it seems like it knows that you're signing it, which is pretty strange.
The signature is a witnessed moment, not such a name. No, this is contractually we are not.
Are you all done? Come bring it to me, and then we'll get started.
Yeah,
You-
let's get to this. I want
Here
to
you go.
see your
Here you
plan.
go. Here you go, sir. Do you require counter signature on this document?
No, I'm just going to read it and make sure that everybody has signed it. And he reads it. He sees that everybody in your party has signed it. All right, hand the sword over, and we'll be all set, and we'll get started.
You can hold up the sword for a moment, and it takes a moment to just sort of focus and listen to see if there's any emotions coming from the sword.
The sword itself has still an emotion of calmness.
Whatever I do, I kind of nod, and, like hand the sword to Mahadi.
As you hand the sword to Mahadi, you see that he immediately takes the sword and throws it into a bag of holding and closes it. Alright, we are ready to go. Come with me, we'll go outside, and then we will get out of here.
Going. Is there anything else you want to do? Where were you?
No, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm
what else
already.
are you gonna do? I grab Jabu and.
Oh, I'd like to buy oil. Does anyone know where I can buy oil before we go?
Wait, I have some oil.
Oh,
Like
how
just
much you want for
mundane,
it?
just mundane. I have an alchemy jar.
yeah, I just need a pint of oil.
I can do that for you.
What would you like for it?
Right now.
I mean, I guess I can just owe you one.
I don't need money. Just what do you need the oil for?
Oh, I've got this lantern here that needs oil. It does. Well, I'll show you later, but
Oh, sure. If you can use. I use my alchemy jar. So it's just. I think we want to follow the hobby here.
all right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put a pint of oil in the lantern.
Alright. As soon as everybody is near the front door, we're gonna shift over to the next scene.
Just get that outside.
Let me know when you're ready, Thorka, and let me know when you're ready, Tignum.
I'm sorry. I'm ready. I didn't.
Alright. All right, so you see Mahadi go ahead and cast a spell. It takes some time for him to cast it, but he says, "I hope you're ready," and he shifts you all to his demiplane.
Well, shit.
Closer. Or somewhere.
Should see yourselves at the top right-hand corner.
There we are.
Well, look at this place.
That's a machine.
Tignum, look at that.
Yeah, I see it. I want it. Can we just take the straps off and leave?
The guy's kind of like flexing his claws. Like
I mean, if he has things like this, maybe we can just find one for you.
Well, thankfully, you didn't know about these before we signed the contract, so we'll move on from here. And when you're ready,
one of those.
when you're
Okay.
ready, head to the south, and we will go ahead and deal with the Colosseum. But take your time, and I'll meet you at the Colosseum.
What color tent is the Colosseum?
It's not really a tent. It's actually south of the
Oh, I understand. Okay, I see.
Got it.
And I will see you there. Good luck.
You just want to go straight there, everyone? Or what do we think?
I think we should go straight there, and once we've won our battle and we have, our free access to the place, then we can explore.
Yeah. I have to agree. Might as well get to it. There's no point in even seeing what's happening if we lose.
It's true.
With this place. I don't want to get my hopes up and end up dying,
Things would. Yes. The Doctor, you have your sword, do you think?
I mean, I have my sword.
Speed and just
You
takes
have your
off.
sword, you do. I know you do. Vegas.
Hey, little buddy.
I'm gonna take this one. These machines. It's very sort of like inspection we can get just to take as we're walking around these giant devices.
You do what you like to do if you want to do a check.
Yeah, the guy's like super good. So he's gonna.
Yeah, I'd like to see if I. Oh, wow, my lag. I'd like to see if I can. Wait, where? Everyone disappeared. Hold on.
Yeah, we're walking around to the south.
I'm sorry. My tab lagged out for a second. I didn't see y'all move. I'd like to inspect these and see if I can determine anything about them.
Sure.
Yeah, the guy's also going to try to take a look for this vehicle efficiency.
So everyone who rolled a 15 or higher, the machines themselves. So the machines themselves that seem to be here, they look like huge infernal war machines, but they seem to have a bunch of different things on them to deal with anyone who isn't such a nice person to the Wandering Emporium. You do notice as you walk through that there are people kind of teleporting in, buying and selling, and then teleporting away. You see a collection of brightly colored tents that stand clustered together, creating kind of an oasis of comfort amid the dread landscape of what damnation would normally be. Huge infernal war machines form a horseshoe around the tents, with curtains made of small rectangular iron plates and lamps dangling from chains strung between them. Soft, lilting music and wondrous smells drift across the hot winds, inviting a closer look. You do notice some Durgar, hobgoblins, salamanders, really weird creatures of such that are kind of in here, and you did notice a sign that said, "All are welcome here, no fighting, no spellcasting, and no exceptions."
Good to know.
Good time.
I thought. Okay.
Well, maybe that's why they have a Coliseum. Tignum is that's where they
These
house
machines are.
disagreements.
These vehicles are incredible.
Undergo.
Man, let me look at this boomerang again.
So once everyone is to the south, I will shift you over to the next map because that will assume that you are all going to the Coliseum.
All the way on, yes. Boop. Boop. No, take it.
Tignum, are you heading down there too?
Yeah, can you just move me? I'm having some technical difficulties.
Yep, and then we'll move you to the next map. So as you notice the gigantic Coliseum, you see that Mahadi is up in the rafters, and you do see some people that are also up in the rafters. You do notice that there are two gigantic demons that are to the left and to the right. And Mahadi seems to shift up to greet you.
I just wanted to say, prior as we were walking in through like the bowels of the Colosseum, I'm assuming we had like a locker room for the visiting team, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah. So during that time, I'm applying some of the gel protection
Oh, right, yeah. We have a 5-day thing in between, right? So.
to my armor and my wares.
Okay.
I'll let you just do the same, please.
All right.
Yeah, I'd like to do the same thing.
Sounds good.
I'd like to cast Mage Armor, please.
Okay.
I've been. Right now, I have a couple. I have a bless and.
I think me and Bo are just going to stand at the ready.
So Mahadi comes up to you guys as you're kind of doing any other additional preparations, and he explains to you the situation. I'm going to show you what happens if one of us tries to do something. So he points over there, and there seems to be robes that are kind of hovering above the ground. You see those robes over there?
Sir.
Yeah.
So let me show you. And then he points at the demon over here. You there, go touch those. And then he grunts, and he just goes ahead and starts walking towards them. This demon is huge. He's got a gigantic whip and a sword.
It didn't look friendly.
He goes up, and he touches the robe with his hand, and he immediately turns to ash and disintegrates.
Well, that's interesting.
Well,
So
I
what
don't
is,
want to touch those.
what is that there for?
Well,
That's
you
what
see,
we're here to deal with.
that is what you're here to deal with. So, I don't know what that is, and I want you to deal with it. So, I have not been able to have someone not from down here touch the robes yet and find out what the problem is with it. So please go over there, touch the robes, and be ready, I would assume, for the fight.
So, Marty, before you step
Jumper
away,
wait.
before you step,
Jumper
okay.
wait.
You told me to touch the ropes.
Well,
Am I
wait
doing
till
something
we
wrong?
get up there. Maybe we can look at it first before touch. You know how it's rude to touch someone before.
No. Thank you for waiting.
But he told me to touch them.
Yeah. When we're ready.
I got consent.
So,
Yeah, good
Marty,
job.
before we go try to deal with it, so this thing has not been like other than people touching it and turning to ashes. It has not moved to attack. So we should be able to at least get close so we can see it, correct?
Yes, you should be able to see it. I mean, we can see it. We see what it looks like. It doesn't really help us, but yes.
Well, I guess to investigate it before touching it, it won't come and attack us, or at least that's what you've seen.
We can take a look at it before it will react to us.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not going to engage with us until we engage with it.
We
That's
haven't.
what I'm-
That's correct. Well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't had anybody be able to touch it, and I have been in a situation where I haven't been able to run the Colosseum, for obviously some purposes of my own, for a long time now. So I'm waiting for that to happen. But I'm going to get out of this little circle you're in and let you do what you need to do.
So I run. Okay. So I say thank you, and I run up to her.
Is there anything of interest
Someone
on the
else
other
stay
side?
next to me and Bulwark. We don't do so well. Okay.
Well, stay behind. Just stay behind us for now. We want to just get close enough where we can actually like take a better look at it, you know. But stay behind us,
Well, the robes are so pretty. I'll tell you that right now.
or at least stay behind me.
We
I'll come back a little.
We
bit
have
and
some
take them for now.
shields, so take them and then can stay behind me and you. But what kind of... Jabu, what do you see? Do you see anything interesting?
Tarek clicks the boots of speed.
Okay.
So as we get closer to it, what are we seeing?
You're seeing probably the best looking robe that you've ever seen. You're not even sure where it came from, why it's here, or the understanding of it. But you're noticing it, and the closer you get, the better it looks. Just really nice looking robes that are kind of floating in midair.
I can't help it no more. I gotta touch it. I gotta touch it.
Can I make a check from back here to see if they give off any kind of
Arcana checks,
indication?
Arcana checks or anything like that really require you to be touching it or within a distance of it that you can physically touch it, hold it, see it. So you'd have to.
I'm gonna touch
Okay,
it.
well, I'm gonna keep my distance, and I recommend y'all stay away as well.
I walk over and I kind of grab Jabu and I just said, just hold on. We don't need to be touching this just yet.
But they're so pretty.
I get it. I want to touch it too, but we have to show restraint right now.
All right. I'll trust what you say.
This is fully an impulse moment. We're doing
Any
well.
interesting iconography on it, embroidery, that like any kind of lettering, symbols?
It just looks like it's adorned with some runes on it. You don't know exactly what the gist of it is, other than that it looks very exquisite.
Can we tell what kind of runes?
No.
No, not from here, or we can't. It's not within our...
You would have to examine it thoroughly in order to do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab the sleeve and look at and then check for it.
As Jabu touches the robe, something happens.
Look, Tech, nothing happening. See, I told you everything okay. Now I'm going to see if it's magical.
What?
And I say, look to your right. What?
Oh my goodness! What the hell is that?
You hear him say, "Why are you here?"
Oh, I'm here because that nice man over here brought me here.
He moves his hand forward, and it pushes the guy back, and it pushes you back to the wall.
That wasn't very nice at all.
And you see another one appear and say, "Why are you here?"
I will approach them again.
TikTok.
They're telling them of the panacea. We seek the panacea's elixir.
I yell from behind the pedestal. I just yell out on. We're just here trying to figure out what the robes are and why they're here.
I am the property of greed. Do you? And are you here for the robes? Or are you here to die?
It does not sound like those things are mutually exclusive.
The answer is the robes.
I would like the roast very much.
Yeah, I don't want to die, so I I guess by default we're here.
Yeah,
I'm
is
here
this
for the
Cape
ropes.
or death kind of questions.
You see a third one appear. This is your last chance to leave.
Tignum, back away now, because
All right, I'm backing up.
this is gonna get, gnarly.
Back up with you, buddy. Let's get a good measuring going on.
I just yell out again that we have no beef with you. We are just interested in the robes, just to find more about the robes and what we could do to make you go away.
You have summoned me, and so shall I am summoned. You defend the greed that is here, and so shall you perish!
Wait, I ain't defending no greed.
And I need you
Yeah,
to
what greed? I don't
roll.
understand.
I need you to roll initiative for me.
Oh, 5.
Jaboo.
Hey, not 0.
Where's this dex?
Hey, not
That's not-
zero.
What's that quote down?
Alright, let me put this all together and then we'll get started. Dorka 14. Whoop. Oh boy, 3. Okay. Tignum 3. Jabu 18. Jabu, you are first. What would you like to do?
I would like to.
Other than have fun with screaming.
I mean, crying is not a bad answer right now.
All right, so we're fighting. So I'm gonna cast fireball here.
That's what Tarek's gonna be doing in like 3 rounds, I think.
Sounds good.
Activates Fury of the Small as well.
Okay.
They're gonna beat us 17 or take on a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. I passed.
All right, you take half of 43.
Alright.
Alright, so did Fury Small made a quicken, so I'm gonna firebolt this one here.
Okay. That will hit.
4 fire done.
Okay. Beacon, it is your turn.
All right. Beacon is going to cast a mind sliver, which is a new cantrip that he's changed out. So, so DC 17 intelligence saving throw. It's a starting spike of psychic energy.
I will pass it.
I make that. And then I will use Quicken to cast Blast from the
Okay.
ring. And so I will do. Well, I guess I just need to do that. So I'm targeting Thorka, Jabu, Tarek, and Tignum.
Just so you know, Tarek and Jabu are under full cover.
I'm sorry, I was targeting.
on them.
So,
Okay. If it in that case, Tignum, Thorka, Degai, and myself.
okay. Tarek, it is your turn.
Okay, I will. I guess since I'm behind full cover, I will hide. Bonus action hide.
All right.
But I had previously clicked the boots of speed on, so I will come out thinking I'm hidden. And 30 feet of movement gets me there, and I will booming blade this guy right here.
And it does see you. That does not beat its passive perception.
Fine, I will still come out, and I will booming blade anyway.
Okay.
That will miss.
That will miss.
And then I will just use my movement just to the remainder of my movement 30 feet to go back to here.
All
or
right.
wherever I was.
Degas, it is your turn.
Now Degar can use this pretty cool maneuver since he's got some buddy action with
Can
Thorka.
someone- I heard I was targeted with something and I didn't hear what.
Well,
and I got the
You are
clarification.
blessed. While I'm concentrating, you can add 1d4 to attack rolls or saving throws.
All right, thank you.
So Degar is going to give a little nod to Thorka to help with the center winged being, and then say, "Watch this." And he's gonna do a run up a little bit and use his what's it called? Tattoos, coiling grasp tattoo. So DC 14 strength save.
And that's going to
Cool.
fail.
Great. So, and I have to add in, because I did a coordinated strike, now I can add in another, I haven't figured out that again, easy click button for this. Another 2d6. He's helping out. Boom. So that's 14 force damage as he grapples onto the center thing.
Okay.
Greed being of greed.
All right. Is there anything else that he does?
That is his turn.
Okay. Thorka, it is your turn.
Okay, so you're now grappling the middle one.
Yes, and you have help.
On the middle one. Okay. I guess I'll move in. So that's when I would be getting help in.
Yeah.
Okay, just so I'm clear on that. So just then move here in front of Dega, and I will unleash my sword on him with advantage.
Okay.
So, first attack with advantage. Does the 22 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll the second attack with advantage. Does an 18 hit?
No, it does not.
Okay. And I will first level smite this thing.
Okay.
$43 points of damage.
All right. As you come down hard, one of the illusions disappears.
Okay. And that is the end of my turn.
From there, it's going to go. It takes its staff and slams it into the ground. When it does that, you start to notice this shimmering mass of shadow that seems to be coming out of the ground. And then from there, it attempts to cast a spell on Degas. Degas is going to have to make a 17 wisdom saving throw for me.
Tyler, so because you're right there 5 feet away from Thorka, you get advantage on the saving throw, and you get a +3 to the saving throw.
And you pass.
Sorry, I was weird. Yeah, 22 for the guy.
All right. So from there, these things are going to go. The shepherd points, and you could see that them walk straight to Beacon.
These are shadow creatures?
Yes.
They like you.
Oh, man.
And they're going to make an attack on you.
Holy shit.
Another shadow thing? Oh no.
First one's going to be an 18 against your AC.
That hit. I'm gonna do a casting of shield for my reaction to use shield.
It is going to react the big bad, and is going to counterspell your shield.
Okay. He has 18 hits.
You're going to take 7 points of necrotic damage,
Okay.
and your strength is lowered by 3.
I have necrotic resistance, so we're half of that.
Okay. Yeah. So then you'll only take 3 points of necrotic damage, but you'll still take the 3 strength reduction.
Okay.
Second attack is a 13 against your AC. Third attack is a 21.
21 hits.
And the fourth attack will be a miss.
Fourth attack misses.
So the third attack is going to be 4 necrotic damage.
These are against who, Ted?
It's against Beacon.
The one that's next to Bulwark is going to have disadvantage.
Okay.
Um,
And then you'll take an additional 2 strength damage.
half. Alright, these are half for necrotic, I guess.
Yep, so you take 4 necrotic and then 2 strength.
Okay.
And then the other 2 attacks are going to be against Degas. 20 against Degas' AC. And 17 against his AC.
Neither hit.
Okay. From there, the last person to go, Tignum, it is your turn.
Alrighty, real quick survey. No, I guess I don't need a survey. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and move here. Oh, how did I end up there? I'm going to cast Fairy Fire. So I'm going to rip out a jar full of neon something. and let me click my spell. So a 20-foot cube within range. So the 20-foot cube is going to be I don't know if you can see what I'm originating here. So it'll hit all 4 enemies within that area.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it will also hit Thorka and Degas.
All right.
Any
hitting?
creature in the area
Very
while the
fine.
spell is cast is outlined in light if it fails a dexterity saving throw. So y'all take dex checks.
Advantage because of the focus.
You get advantage, and you get +3.
Supposed to. I couldn't though. So okay. Hmm.
So Thork has a 24 to save.
What?
So one of the shadows passed, one of the shadows failed, and the big bad failed as well.
Okay. Wait. There's one big bad. I thought there was 2.
There's 2 versions of them. We made one of them
Well, you
disappear.
saw-
One failed.
Brandon.
This one failed, I guess, and one of the shadows failed. So they should be.
Right. No, but it should have hit all 4 of them.
So
It did, but don't they all have to make dex saves?
All right, I'm gonna let you read between the lines. They have a mirror image cast on them. That's why one of them disappeared. So
Okay.
there's only 3 monsters. I rolled 3 dice. We can move on, and then yeah, the big bad.
I couldn't figure out what the hell I was missing. All right. So, yep, that's my action, and as a bonus action, I will command Bulwark, and Bulwark is going to move adjacent to Beacon, and he's going to force attack this shadow directly in front of him with Force Rend.
Okay.
One second. He's a pain in the ass to roll for because his stat lines change all the time. I don't think this is the current. I think that this hit roll should actually be higher, but that's okay. Did that work? Yeah, it did.
Cool. So that does hit, and it will take 6 damage.
Alrighty.
All right. So at the top of the order is Jabu.
So y'all have advantage on attack rolls against anything that was hit by my glowy fire. And Ted, I have a question about that real quick. So my glowy fire hit the big bad. Does that mean that the mirror image is not glowing outlined and the real one is?
No, as per Raw, that only affects invisibility. So they're both glowing.
Okay.
Cast a fireball. Here. And that should get 34 fire damage. Dex saving throw 17 or better.
Okay, and for the fireball, you're only trying to hit the big bad, correct?
Yeah, this one and the shadow guy.
Okay.
I'll put it over here so we would burn, not hit my allies. All right, it's a half of 34, which is 17 fire.
Yep.
And
then the shadow's going to take the full amount, and the shadow will die.
All right. Action firebolt. Here.
Okay.
Nope.
Damn. All right, my turn's over. I will move. Then I'm done.
Okay.
I had felt my boss.
And then Beacon, it is your turn.
Okay, I am going to quicken cast a word of radiance. So, for all the shadows around me, we'll need to make a Constitution DC 17.
One of them fails, the rest. I'm sorry, one of them passes, the rest fail.
Alright, then I should roll damage separately for each one. But it'll be 11 radiant damage.
Sounds good.
And then he will do his action to disengage. And we do a measure here. Move over towards pillars, I think. Guess I'll fly past Bowwire. And move over towards the pillar. So. Yes. Do you need me to roll the word of radiant damage separately, or will so damage the so it's radiant damage to the shadows and run away? Whew. Weekend.
Okay. Tarek, it is your turn.
Okay, so Tarek is he's just gonna repeat what he did before. He's just gonna rush up to here. Sometimes I can't move it. Having trouble, like my icon not allowing me to jump to there. So I want to move to there, and I'm just going to Booming Blade.
Okay.
That one. Now, would I get advantage from that with the fairy fire?
For the big bad, you would.
Right. Okay. So, Booming Blade. Not gonna hit. Here we go again. Roll 20. Gonna
17 or 17. It's gonna be 17.
Tarek. All right, and Tarek will he'll walk back to where he was, before, and that'll end his turn.
Just as a clarification, for Beacon, you moved 45 feet when your normal movement is 30.
Well, fly speed of 90.
You don't have the sword anymore, unless
the transformation is when you.
Oh,
place it
gotcha. Okay,
into it.
okay. That's not a
I
problem.
don't have like
Sorry.
the cantrip, or the radiance and the things that are up the sword.
Gotcha. No problem. Yep.
But the transformation and stuff like true
Yep.
sight. So
Degas, it is your turn.
Oh, Degas, sorry. So he is going to just keep going where he's going. So now he's going to attack. He's going to do his same thing to help his friend Thorka.
Well, we're already getting advantage, so if you want to do
Yes,
something
but
else.
yeah, it helps me. Okay, so I'll help someone doing ranged. So I'll help Tignum, and I will do, and then with a combo plan. Was that far enough away? Yeah, that could be close. And then I'll do my tentacle attack. It's helping. Help you to help me. Help you to help me.
Am I being helped or not? I'm confused.
Yes, the guy is helping you and saying, "Here, I'm gonna pin him down and go for this." And he's going to do a tentacle attack. DC 14 strength save.
He passes.
All right. So he misses out, but he's maintaining his grapple on us there. So there you go. That's the guy, sir.
Okay. From there, Thorka, it is your turn.
Okay, gonna continue my onslaught, and now I have advantage. The sword slices through the air with electricity and strikes at this big bad.
All right.
First attack with the 29 will hit.
Yes.
And then I'll do the second attack. And does a 20 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so on one of these attacks, I'm going to do another smite, and then the second attack will be just a regular attack.
Okay.
So I'll do the smite first. So it's 71 damage.
as your damage swings, it seems to make its mark.
And then using the momentum and coming back around for that second slash. So this is a normal sword attack. Another 37 points of damage.
And that will hit as well.
Okay, that is the end of my turn.
At the end of your turn, it takes a legendary action. And it slams the staff on the ground. And more shadows seem to appear. On top of that, this decaying aura seems to swirl from it. Which you should be able to see now.
Yeah.
Yes, we see it.
From there, it is going to go. Now, it looks at you, Thorka, and it just growls. It's very, very mad. And it attempts to go ahead and cast a spell on you. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Okay. A 20.
That will pass, and you are not affected by it. From there, the shadows will go. With their command, they're going to attempt to still get as close to Beacon as possible and attack him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. This, I don't know if he gets reactions to take an attack of opportunity or not. He would get 1 if the Steel Defender gets something like that. I don't know what the rules are on that. We'll figure it out later. But, and then the shadows are going to attempt to attack. First, we'll do the attacks on Thorka. 11 and a 16 against your AC will not hit. And then against Daga. 17, 19, and a 24.
24 hits.
Okay. With the 24, it will be 10 necrotic damage. And he will lose 4 strength.
Dude.
Keep in mind and remember those strength drains, because if he does make a physical attack, that means that his physical attack is lowered.
I have that tracking.
Okay.
Was it 4? 4? All right. Cool.
And then from there, Beacon, you're going to be attacked 3 times.
Shit.
Dude. This is bad.
A 21, a 23, and a crit.
Well, I'll I think I'll reaction to cast another shield from wavering on the crit, I guess. No, that doesn't even block it.
Yeah, no matter what, the
block that,
crit's going to
then
hit, but if...
I'll shield the first one, and then I'll do that.
Okay.
So it's the second and the crit hit.
So for the regular attack, it is 4 necrotic, because I reduced it already for you. And you'll lose 3 strength.
At 0.
I did not mean to click that.
And then for the critical, it's going to be 10 necrotic, which is reduced to 5.
I think I'm at 0, so it's like that's an auto fill at that so from all the way down to all of that.
Yeah, so once your strength gets to 0, something happens. And you feel like time has stopped. Everything is kind of stopped, and you're not entirely sure what's going on. This cool ambience and this hum fills your mind. Your patron finally comes to you again as you collapse, and it looks at you and says, Beacon, you have finally proven yourself worthy. I think it's time for you to show the world what your true worth is. Are you prepared, Beacon? And you feel that you can speak right now.
I guess if he's able to, he tries to kneel in a way and say, it's celestial, and I've always tried to, and I pledge that I will always continue to try.
With that, you feel like everything in the world is shifting back into place. Your strength feels like normal again, and your eyes start to glow. And you're not really sure why. People looking at you, the shadows look scared, and they start disappearing one at a time. You start feeling refreshed, and everything of you feels like it's back to normal again. And you see something on the ground in front of you.
What is the form of a sword?
It is a sword.
I guess I try. If I can't, I'll pick it up, and if there's still a moment, I guess.
When
Or I
you
can
pick
just-
it up, it feels like the sword decided that the rightful owner will be you, and you are now wielding the sword that you gave up once again.
Oh, wow. All right. This is fascinating.
Whoa!
From there, everything shifts back to normal again, and we move on to Tignum. What would you like to do?
Other than stare at what the hell just happened. A second ago, I was real worried he was going to be dead, so my whole plan was to save him, but now my whole plan is irrelevant. So, I guess I'm still being helped, so I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to use my multi-attack, and I'm going to throw my hand axe.
Sounds good.
I'm going to, as a bonus action, cast my new spell. Branding Smite, the one I accidentally cast before.
Sounds good.
Wow. All right, that's terrible. Well, I'll do an extra 3 radiant damage, and it'll explode in a shower of light. I'm going to aim for this guy right here,
Okay.
who I should have advantage on, I believe.
Yes.
All right.
Because the god gave you advantage.
Yeah, he's helping you out
And-
with his tentacle pin.
And I still have bless as well.
And
The
the blast
bless.
got dropped.
Yeah, the bless has failed.
Oh, is that that was because Beacon fell?
Yeah, it's a concentration effect.
All right. So I have attack numero uno. So that'll be a 16. That's not great.
That will hit the shadow.
All right. So it'll take 8 plus. It'll take 11. It'll take 8 magic slashing and 3 radiant.
Shadow dies. Just collapses in itself.
And my multi attack will be on this second one right here.
Okay.
And I do not get advantage on this one because it only affects the first attack.
Yep, and that will hit.
All right, and damage. Do I roll the 2d6? That's only the first attack, also, right?
Correct. Yeah.
All right. Uh, 6 magic slashing.
All right. And that was to this one or to this one?
This marked one.
Okay, sounds good.
And then after. Oh shit! Right. I cannot give Bulwark an action because giving him an action requires my bonus action. Action economy for artificers sucks.
There you go.
I guess Bulwark will stand awkwardly.
Yeah, he takes a dodge action automatically, so that's fine.
I kind of forgot about that. I wouldn't have wasted a spell slot. Oh well.
No biggie. Jabu, it is your turn.
Shoot this character with fireball.
Sounds good. That will miss with a 17 against its AC.
Bonus action. I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice the level 2 slot to give myself 3 sorcerer points back. My turn is over.
Sounds good. Beacon, it is your turn.
Alright, Beacon is going to go and sort of fly over towards Tignum and cast a radiant blast with his sword at two shadows near Dika. So,
Okay.
let's try to click the button. Say, circle 23.
Definitely hit
and
the first one. And definitely hit the second one.
27. If I had gotten rid of the spell, so is it 28 or is it 2d8? 1d8 each?
Sounds good.
I think. 2d8 radiant. So 9 radiant damage to each of the.
They will
things.
both
Those.
be slammed with that radiant spell and collapse and die.
And that will be my turn. I'll come back over here. I'll fly behind. There you go.
All right. Tarek, it is your turn.
All right. Tarek runs by Jabu and he says, "Third time's a charm." And he casts Booming Blade, which I'm assuming I still get advantage.
You do.
Do it. You can do it.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
That'll hit.
All right.
And the good news is that Tarek eliminates the last mirror image.
Nice.
Hey, and then I will just use my movement and I will run back and just pet Jabu on the head.
Sounds good. Degas. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Wisdom or is it magic
Still have
or
advantage and +3.
all right. Wisdom. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Guys, I guess we're good. 23.
You pass. All right, you're not affected by it. Now, what would you like to do?
Oh, it's my turn. Oh, sorry. He's going to, I guess, keep on trucking. He's gonna try to help, Signum and do a hook attack this time against the thing, against greed. So,
All right, that will hit.
Nice. So, I'll do it. I didn't do it. Damage roll. And then also from coordinating. Oh, that didn't work right. Apologies. 7. So he's doing a math. Total of 9 plus 7 plus 15 damage. Piercing as he hooks into the guy in front of him.
All right. And all that math also correlated to the -4 to strength that Degas has, right?
Oh, apologies. Minus 2 damage for the strength bonus.
Okay. And then that would actually mean the first attack missed then, because that would be a 16 or a 17 against its AC. The second attack will hit because it's a natural crit, but the first attack would then miss.
Cool. So
7.
cool. So 2 equals 9 plus 15 plus 2 plus. So, why does it do that?
All right, I took care of what it was, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
so
It's all
2
taken
left.
care of.
Yeah, agreed. I understand.
Yeah, if Degas needs to do anything else, he can as far as movement. Otherwise, Thorka, it's your turn.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, seeing Tarek get rid of the other copy, and then seeing Beacon come back and, all shiny with his sword again, and just rallies Thorka into furiously attacking at this thing. So 2 attacks with advantage. So the 29 hits.
That will definitely hit.
The second attack, 25 hits.
That hits.
And he is going to throw both attacks with first level smites.
All right.
So our first attack does 82 points of damage. Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on, I didn't switch the die. Sorry about that. That would be 44 points of damage.
Those are big.
44 points of damage for the first attack.
A very big sword.
And then, yeah, I know. And then the second attack does 43 points of damage.
All right. I forgot to mention, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw at the start of your turn, Thorka.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
Is that because of that radius, that stench or whatever?
Not sure yet until somebody actually is affected by it, unfortunately.
Got it.
So rolling that with my bonus and with advantage. 22.
You pass. You don't feel anything any different.
All right, so that was 87
87.
points of damage.
That's right. As it takes that damage, it writhes in pain. It looks very mad at you. As a legendary action, it slams its cane on the ground, and something different happens. The demon that's right here seems to slowly disappear and get sucked in to it. From there, it grows even larger.
Did it look like it was resisting?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it was not happy about being sucked in.
Got it.
And then you hear Greed say one word: power. From there, it is going to attempt to cast a spell on you, Thorka. I want you to do a wisdom saving throw for me.
25.
And you pass without any issues at all. And then from there, the shadows are going to go, and they're going to attack Daga. $18 against his AC and 23 against his AC.
The 23 hits.
All right.
Just
So it's going to take 9 necrotic damage.
Oh.
And he's going to take 4 strength damage.
Alright. Oh, I'm tired. Shadow's done.
From there, Tignum, it's your turn.
Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna come right up diagonal right here, and I'm going to again multi-attack these shadows. Now, this is the one marked by my fairy fire, correct?
I believe so, yes.
All right, so I'm going to attack this one first since I'm being helped.
Sounds good.
It's a 27.
Will definitely hit.
All right. Man, that was almost a crit. 7 magic slashing damage.
And it dies.
All right, and then I'll use my second attack on the second one with fairy fire.
Okay. And that will miss.
All right. I am really bad at clicking. Yeah, that was a 12. I don't know why I keep accidentally attacking 3 times. All right, and then with my bonus action, I'm going to move Bulwark up. And Bulwark is going to come right here, and he's going to force rend the shadow.
Okay.
I don't remember what the new attack modifier is for Steel Defenders, so I'm just going to use the one that there's a button for in D&D Beyond, even though it's wrong.
Okay.
Your spell attack modifier.
Oh, yeah, then I'll just go ahead and...
It was just
Okay, it's a +7.
Yeah,
That will hit.
that's better than you had before.
All right, yep. And then it's... Oh, boy. 6 force damage.
It will take it.
All right, and that's my whole turn.
All right. It seems to be still up. Tignum, I forgot to ask you. Make a wisdom saving throw
Yeah.
for me at the beginning of your turn.
Oh.
11. So, you feel like this aura around it is causing you to almost like succumb to your own nightmares. You're really freaked out, and the nightmares inside your mind actually attack you. You're gonna take 10 psychic damage.
I do not like that.
From there, Jabu, it is your turn.
Guys, bulwark is rusting.
Step out, firebolt, shoot. I had advantage this whole time. I'm goofing up.
Well, 32. I don't think you need the advantage.
Maybe I do.
Oh no!
No.
Was that a fire bolt or a little tiny flame?
That's enough flame for both nipples. That's what that is. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to move up one more square,
Okay.
and my character's going to have these purple, like gears from a clock, form around myself and Thorka.
Mhm.
And I'm going to spend 5 sorcery points, and I'm going to slide back behind the rock here.
Okay.
My turn's over.
Beacon, it is your turn.
Oh, well, okay. I guess we're going to try. So I'm going to first do a quickened guiding bolt. Or, wait. Can I cast guiding bolt from the angels? Oh, no, that's a sorcerer that I changed out because I used to have it. I have guiding bolt now. So I'm going to quicken cast guiding bolt using a first level slot. Is a 14 hit?
14 does not hit.
Unfortunately. Well, he's going to fly in and try to strike the Sword of Zariel.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be the try here.
You got advantage.
I do.
Do
I
it.
don't need it.
You got advantage. Hit it.
You have advantage.
Oh my god, what
a-
is
Oh my god.
A 0, which is a natural 1 with your -1.
Wow. Okay, so
We're
that
gonna have to do some
really.
push-ups weekend.
Hold on.
Wow.
Is there any way that the gods favor
Wait,
me
but
that much?
What about the advantage? Oh,
That
wait.
wasn't the advantage.
That was with
Eh,
advantage. So
Because
yeah,
the
no.
long sword and I must.
Oh shit.
I'm just trying. I don't think two. Not even gonna change it. So yeah, I'm just sad about it. That's my
All
turn.
right, no problem. Tarek, it is your turn.
All right, Tarek is just going to run to here, and he's just going to booming blade.
Well, that hits.
Yeah.
And triggered sneak attack, so 26, 30 points of damage, and then I will use my bonus action just to dash back to where I was next to Jabu.
All right, sounds good. From there, Degas, it is your turn.
He is going to see the beacon just raided here. He's like, oh, buddy. He's gonna keep trying to hit him. He's like, not really feeling the shadow though. So I think he's gonna do that. He's gonna turn around and try to hit the shadow with his tentacle.
All right.
Boom. This is helping. I guess Bulwark. He's like helped Bulwark and get him down. DC 14.
It actually passes the saving throw with a -2 to its strength.
All right. All right. He's going to take a step over here towards Beacon, and that'll be where he ends.
All right. Thorka, it is your turn.
All right, so because Thorka wears a helmet that covers his whole face, no one can see the just utter cringe after watching Beacon
Oh,
try to
man.
hit it with a sword, and just like, if we survive this, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna do.
help
I'm
that
gonna do
poor-
a sword.
I'm gonna help that poor boy learn how to use a sword if it kills me. If this doesn't kill me first, and he's gonna take 2 strikes at it.
All right.
With advantage, first strike. 26.
That will
Second
hit.
strike. Ho!
Wow.
That will definitely
Alright.
hit.
So with the first strike, it's going to be a regular hit, and then the second strike's going to have a level 2 smite.
Okay.
So I'll do the damage for the first one. Make sure to switch that die. Alright. So 28 points of damage for that one. And now this is going to be the critical smite for level 2.
It's gonna be like something insane.
65 points of damage.
All right.
And that is the end of my turn.
At the end of your turn, the shepherd takes his staff and slams it on the ground as a legendary action, and goes ahead and, as you would have guessed, creates more shadows. Only one of them has fairy fire.
I have to make a save, right?
Yep, Degas has to make a save as well.
Alright. So wisdom plus 3.
Yes, wisdom plus 3 with advantage, as long as you're still 5 feet away from me.
He's doing pretty good. I think maybe 21.
15.
Oh boy, he finally got hit by it.
I finally got hit by it.
That's going to be 11 points of psychic damage as your nightmares start to envelop you. On the shepherd's turn, it's going to cast Dispel Magic on itself, getting rid of the fairy fire effect.
Good luck. Good luck.
From there, the shadows are going to go.
Oh, shit.
Two of them are going to... Well, let's do the first one attacking Thorka. Not even close. And then two of them are going to attack Degas.
Bulwark is going to impose disadvantage on this one.
So then this one will be just 13 against its AC. And the second attack will be a 17 against his AC, which would be miss.
It shall.
One of them will attack the Bulwark, which would be a 23 against the Bulwark's AC.
That'll hit.
And then the last one will hit Tignum for a 27 against his AC.
1 sec. Yep, that's fine.
For the Bulwark, it's going to be 12 necrotic damage, and its strength goes down by 4. For the Tignum attack, it's only going to be 4 necrotic damage, and your strength will only go down by 1.
Alright.
From
Is that
there,
the modifier or the score, Ted?
it's the entire score.
Okay.
From there, Tignum, it is your turn. I need you and the Iron Golem to go ahead and make a Wisdom saving throw for me.
Right, this is me. Jesus. And this is Bulwark. I'm sorry. Yeah, bulwark. What the? Well, it's you and me both, buddy.
So you're gonna take 3 points of psychic damage. The bulwark will take 11.
All right, one sec. I took how much?
You took 3. And the bulwark took 11.
Oh, these health bars are wrong.
Yeah, some things get copied from the other thing.
I want to make sure you said 3.
Yeah, it's right in the chat. You took 3 damage, and
Okay,
he took
and
11.
bulwark is 36. So. All right, there we go. Okay, so that happened. That sucked.
And then Tignum took 4 before that and took 1 point of strength damage.
Oh, you're right.
Just so you're
And I
aware.
took 10. I took 10 last turn as well.
Correct. Just waiting. Other than that, it is your turn.
All right. So I am going to multi-attack. And I'm gonna try to get this one out my face.
All right.
That's the first one.
That will hit.
And the second attack coming in.
And that will hit.
Oh shit! I accidentally rolled in D&D Beyond.
Oh, interesting. I could. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, 8 damage and then 10 damage.
Sounds good.
And then my bonus action is to command Bulwark. Yeah, I can tell Bulwark to take any action, so I'm gonna have him shove a potion into my backpack.
Okay.
And I don't know what. Do you want that to kick in at the end of my turn now, or at the start of my next turn?
The description on the backpack should say whether or not you have to take an action to start it up or not.
Right, but so I have to. But hold on. My construct should be able to activate magical items for me. I mean, this is a homebrew item, so it works however it works. You just tell me.
It allows if the healing potion is used, depending on the rarity, it will heal a set amount around the user per round for 2d4 plus 2 rounds of each creature within 5 feet. So if a healing potion is used, depending on the rarity, it will heal for a set amount. So what potion are you using?
Just a basic one. I just don't know if I don't know if the healing happens at the at the beginning of my turn or the end of my turn or what.
It would be at the end of your turn.
Okay, so I'm just using a basic potion.
Okay,
and
then you just roll 2d4 plus 2.
Yeah, so 10.
Okay, so for 10 rounds, every being around you will heal for 2 HP.
Yep. And that's my whole turn.
Alright, Jabu, it is your turn.
So everyone...
Yes, fireball right here.
Alright, sounds good.
30 damage, 17 beat my last level 30 slot.
And you're trying to hit all the shadows too, right?
All the shadows and the big bad, yeah.
So 3 of the 4 shadows will fail. They will automatically die. That one will die too. And then for the shadow, or for the big bad, he will pass. He'll take 15. Alright. right. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Bonus action, sacrifice a level 2 slot to give myself back 3 sorcerer points. And then I'm going to run over to the cloak.
Okay.
Can I tackle it off the hanger?
Once you touch the cloak, you suddenly realize, just like the sword the last time this happened, that it is currently ethereal.
Ow. My turn's over.
Beacon, it is your turn. You're going to take a wisdom saving throw for me. You will take...
You get advantage and +3, Beacon.
Oh, I need to take a concentration check.
Okay. Even with the +3 from, because Beacon rolled with advantage, he would still take the damage.
Oh, okay.
You're going to take 10 points of psychic damage, Beacon, and it's still your turn.
Fairy fire falls off.
Oh, he dispelled the fairy fire 2 turns ago.
Oh, I don't know how I didn't notice that.
That will definitely hit with a 25. We can't hear you if you're talking, by the way, Beacon.
Oh man, my bad. Sorry. Yes, I cast Flame Blade in my evoking a magical blade of fire in my offhand, and with my action, I do an attack at the thing.
It takes 11 damage.
Cool. And that's my turn, and I did it.
All right, Tarek, it's your turn.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue what I was doing. Oh, wait a minute. Chaboo. Okay. Just having a brain fart. All right, so Tarek is just gonna rush up to there, and he's just gonna do booming blade.
All right.
And of course, misses.
Not booming enough.
Yeah, and of course misses, and then he will run back to this side.
All
I
right.
like to
Like,
visualize this from the perspective of someone watching this fight, and they're watching all these guys beat the snot out of each other, and there's just this one guy in a feathered cap who keeps sprinting back and forth from this column.
Shoot. Yeah.
Degas, it's your turn. I need Degas
Right.
to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Yeah.
He will pass.
Alright. The guy's going to help out Thorka as he unleashes his tentacle tattoos at the thing in front of him. So a DC 14 saving throw. Strength saving throw.
I'm going to pass.
It's getting bigger now. Alright. So that's him, but you have some help. You have some help. Thorka.
All right, Thorka, it's your turn.
Okay, I'll make my save. 24.
That'll definitely be a pass.
Okay, I'll make my attacks now with advantage from Dega help. So first attack.
That will fail, actually. That will not hit. First attack.
Alright,
Or the second. Yeah,
second attack. 29.
that will hit.
We got one, and we're gonna use second level smite.
Okay.
51 points of damage.
As that attack hits him, he is starting to look really mad. He is going to use a legendary action. He's going to try to cast a spell on you. Go ahead and do a wisdom saving throw for me, Thorka.
$18.
You fail.
Okay.
Finally, really. I mean,
Very powerful auras.
you feel yourself held in place, and you feel paralyzed. Everyone else also notices this.
Mm.
Yeah. Just to give a little sound effect. Okay, cool.
From there, it is going to slam on his turn. He's going to slam his staff into the ground once again. Five more shadows appear. The shadows themselves move and attack. Three of them are going to attack Thorka. The three that attack Thorka have advantage because you are paralyzed.
Bulwark will afflict disadvantage on this last one.
Okay. Second one does not hit. The third one just makes advantage versus disadvantage equals regular. Will hit Thorka with a 28 against his AC.
I fucking hate that shadow.
These shadows are rough. They eat us.
From there, he is going to do 9 necrotic damage and 4 strength damage to Thorka.
I'm going to activate the gears I put around Thorka before.
Mhm. What does it do?
Thorka,
It's going to absorb 22 damage. What it's called balance restoration. I'm sorry, Bastion. Something, I don't know, I forget it. It's a level 6 ability I get as a clock sorcerer.
All right.
I sacrifice between 1 to 5 sorcerer points on me and another player. There it is there. So I'm going to activate it now, and I'm going to absorb 22 damage of whatever Thorka's taking.
All right, Thorka, you don't take any damage then. From there, the 2 other shadows. Or no, I have 1 more shadow is going to attack Thorka, and then I have a shadow attacking Tignum.
alrighty.
The 1 shadow attacking Thorka rather is going to crit. And then the shadow attacking Tignum is doing a 24 against your AC.
Well, that sucks. Yep.
Thorka, with that crit, it's 16 damage. And it's 2 strength, oddly enough, instead of 4. So it's better, but yeah.
Okay, got it.
And then 12 necrotic damage to Tignum,
Shit.
Oh, man.
and 4 strength removed from Tignum. Just keep in mind, like I said, if you attack with a strength-based weapon, that means you have a -2 to your attack rolls with that 4.
All of my attacks use my intelligence modifier, not strength.
Yeah, not a, that wasn't referenced to you. That was referenced to
Oh,
anybody.
okay. I thought that was okay.
Nope. Tignum, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, and the machine also needs to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
I would like to not do that. Jesus.
Tignum's going to take 5 damage, and the Steel Defender is going to take 6. And it is your turn.
Yep. Well, shit. This is not good. I am going to... Fuck. I'm gonna move. 1, 2. I'm gonna move there. Does the shadow get an attack of opportunity?
The shadow does. It's going to try to attack you.
Bulwark will use his reaction to impose disadvantage. Oh, can you use a reaction on your own turn? No, it's not his turn. It's not his turn yet. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, it's not his turn yet. Oh, but he already used a reaction to impose disadvantage.
Oh shit, you're right. You're right. Okay. Yep, so just a regular attack.
And it's a crit.
That's real bad. Okay, tell me how fucked I am.
Hold on 1 second. It's going to be 19 necrotic damage.
Fucking A.
And 2 strength loss.
Oh, I was about to be fine, and now I'm very not fine. When I go unconscious, Bulwark defaults to dodge, so that's it.
Alright, and at the end of your turn, the thing on your back spritzes, and you realize that you're on the ground eating dirt, and you don't know why. Because you gain 2 health when it spritzes.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, awesome. Default.
Oh my god. But I still don't get to take my bonus action.
No,
right?
yeah, no, you don't get to do
Oh
anything
wait,
like
did I
that.
get knocked down here before I moved?
You would get knocked down 5 feet away, so you'd be like there.
There?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that's
it's-
it for me.
Yeah. Jabu, it's your turn. Wisdom saving throw for me. We can still use that as your damage. That will hit. And you save against the wisdom saving throw.
14 fire damage.
It's gonna take it.
I'm gonna use. I'm gonna move.
Okay.
I'm gonna use 2 sorcery points as a bonus action to do quicken spell, and I'm gonna cast. Oh my god, I fucking can't breathe. Scorching ray. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word.
Sounds good. That will hit, and it'll take 11.
No, that was a mistake.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so it's gonna be 27, 16, and 30 on the 3 blasts.
Gotcha. The 2 of the blasts will hit. The 3rd blast did not hit. Or the first one and the last one hit. The second one did.
Alright, so it's gonna be a total of 13 fire damage.
Okay.
My turn is over.
All right. Beacon, it's your turn. Surrounded by shadows. Need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, Beacon, to start your turn.
I'm sorry, I keep turning it off. Wisdom saving throw. With advantage.
That passes.
Alright. So I'm going to do a I'm going to take a step over here.
That's going to cause an attack of opportunity.
Yes, I'll take that if that happens.
27 against your AC.
Yeah. Okay, that'll hit.
It's going to be 7 points of necrotic damage, which for you it's 3 because it's halved.
Okay.
And you're going to take 3 strength damage.
Okay. These things are bad. And I'm going to try just to, I guess, do that. And I'm going to try to do a flame void attack against the big thing as I throw. Oh, I guess I'll move around here towards the cloak, and I'll do a attack with my flame blade.
Okay.
So, whoa, 23 as I
That will
swing.
hit.
Cool. 10 radiant or fire damage from the flame blade.
Sounds good.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to use a healing word onto myself.
Alright, I was going to say, need to be fast. Is there anything
Oh,
else?
Yeah, 1d4 heal 8. That's my turn.
Okay, Tarek, it's your turn.
Okay, Tarek wants to let me know. I want to do this move. I'm having a little trouble with the. Basically, I want to move to here. I can get roll 20 to work, right?
Once you enter and leave this square right here, you're going to get hit with an attack of opportunity.
Right, but I want to maneuver to where I'm like to here, and I think it still works out to like 60 feet if I slide like this to get to there. So I was trying to do the point.
Like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Pretty much, and then I just want to.
But once you, so you can do that. But like I said, there's a point right here that you have to cross to get to that point, and it's still gonna emit an attack of opportunity from this shadow in order to do that.
All right, well then I'm not gonna do that. All right, I will just move here and I will booming blade this shadow.
Okay. $10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, yeah.
And
Well, that will definitely hit.
And I will do 20 points of damage.
You obliterate the shadow.
How the hell do y'all deal so much damage?
The booming blade.
Booming blade.
I'm over here tickling things to death.
Boom, boom.
Dagai,
then-
it's your turn.
And then I will move bonus action, move to here, and I will hide.
Okay. You're definitely hidden. And Dagai, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, and it is your turn.
Right. Boom.
Okay, you pass,
Yeah.
and go ahead with your turn.
Okay. He's gonna. I guess. He's gonna see that. Tignom's having Beacon's getting prayed on. Oh my god! So Beacon has one close to him, so he's gonna give help to Beacon and try to go up for the shadow that's close to him. So DC 14 strength save.
All right.
Rustling tendrils.
It fails.
Cool, because he's working with Beacon. First time we've ever been battle buddies. There's a 14 piercing damage as he grapples onto that shadow miracle.
Okay. Not dead, but certainly hurt.
Never mind. That's the guy.
Okay. Thorka, it's your turn. Need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Okay. 25.
That's gonna pass.
Am I still paralyzed, or is that just a one round and then beginning of my turn kind of thing?
Fortunately, let's see. At the end of each of your other turns, you can take a wisdom saving throw. On a success, the spell ends on a target. So at the end of your turn, you can take a wisdom saving throw. And then on the success, it's going to end. So you'll have to, unfortunately, miss the rest of your turn. But at the end of your turn, you get to make another wisdom saving throw to succeed out of it.
Okay, so I'll do that now.
Okay.
26.
You break out of it like the Hulk getting through a shirt.
There you go. Flex. That's good. Yeah, so that's it. That's the end of my turn. I'm free from the parallelization.
All right. The Greed is going to take a look at. He's going to go ahead and take a look at Beacon, and he looks at you and says, "You have one of ours, and we're going to take it back." And he makes 2 attacks at you.
At which one of us?
Beacon.
Oh.
All right.
So first attack is going to be a 14 against your AC, which obviously will miss. Second attack is going to be a 10 as it tries to swing its staff near you, and unfortunately misses.
Oh man.
From there, 3 of the shadows that are here are going to all attack Beacon. Not Beacon, I'm sorry, Degas. And then the 4th one is going to attack Beacon.
Bulwark will impose disadvantage on one of the ones on Degas.
Alright, let's do that one first. So it'll be a 13 against his AC, so that will miss. Second one will be a 25 against Degas' AC.
Oof.
Third one is a crit.
Oh, crit heat.
So the one that's not a crit is going to be 10 necrotic damage. And it's going to be 1 strength reduction on Degas. The second attack's going to be 19 necrotic damage on Degas. And it's going to be 8 strength reduction.
And that's a lot. Like a whole beacon right there.
How much strength does Degas have left?
3.
3 strength left. Oh boy.
Yeah, things are going. I'm gonna figure something out here.
Tignum, I have bad news for you. You and your Iron Warrior need to make wisdom saving throws.
Yep. Oop, I accidentally closed the map.
Oh man.
One sec, I can't roll until the
Yeah,
screen
no
loads.
problem. Just waiting. Oh man. All right.
The first one is Bulwark. The second one's me.
Bulwark is going to take 16 points of psychic damage, and you're going to take 15 points of psychic damage. Bulwark collapses on the ground. Tignum, it was staring at the sky, and then was suddenly hit with nightmares, which freaked him out. And
Yeah, I'm just gonna be locked here for the foreseeable future.
and then Tignum has a little juice squirted in his face, and he wakes back up again and thinks,
I have
"God,
one of those
this is torture."
Glade scented candle spritzers attached to my back, and every 6 seconds it just goes and lets out a tiny little spurt of perfume, and I wake up in a daze, and then I pass out, and then it happens again over and over, and I'm in hell. This is hell.
Almost.
Jabu, it's your turn.
Okay. Gonna cast Scorching Ray.
That hits.
The good news is I'm not taking death saves yet because of my fucking backpack.
That's true. 2 out of 3 of those scorching rays will hit.
Fourteen fire.
He is a little scorched. Beacon, it is your turn.
I'm just sacrifice a level 1 slot to give myself 2 more sorcerer points, and that's all I'm doing.
Sounds good.
Alright, so this is like now the closest I've been up to the robe. Is there anything, is it still like ephemeral now I'm up close to it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, just checking. So, I'm gonna try the guy's helping. This is a really bad idea, but he's helping. So I'm gonna try to attack this thing with the sword of Zardu.
The shadow or the big thing?
The big thing.
Okay.
I'm going to swing at it. That what is? And that happens. So I get an 8.
Yeah, no. That doesn't even come close.
Does not work. Yeah, it's fine. And I
Alright.
use my bonus action to cast a healing word again, saying to God, getting shadowed and heal the God.
To Daga. Okay. Alright. Alright, sounds good. Do me a favor. You need to make a wisdom saving throw as well, Beacon.
Oh. Sorry, I missed that. And I'm away from Orca. 11.
Alright. It's going to be 10 psychic damage to you.
Oof. Alright, well, that was my turn. So, okay. So, that was my turn.
Alright, Tarek, it's your turn.
All right, with Tarek's with the boots of speed, he's just going to run to here, and then he's going to run up to there, doing 60 feet of movement, and he's going to booming blade the shepherd.
That works.
And he pops a crit off.
Wow.
Nice.
Woo. Rolled kind of shitty, but 15, 30, 35 points of damage. And then I will dash using fancy footwork. And I will run over to here. And I will
Okay.
end my turn.
All right, Daga, it is your turn. I need Daga to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Not focus over that.
Oh boy.
So, the guy's going down.
Take 16 psychic damage.
That's off. Really can't make it down. So let me get a sense. How is the shepherd looking? Is
It's pretty
Moving
beat
over.
up. I mean, it. So when the Baylor was absorbed by him, a lot of his wounds were recovered, and you noticed that immediately. And obviously, the Baylor didn't want that to happen. And the shadows around you are pretty scary, but greed looks a bit worse for wear. So.
Alright. Cool. Good enough. So yeah. Alright, so he's gonna keep on trying what he's doing. I guess he's gonna try to hit this other shadow on the side of him, so they can't get more towards the beacon. So he's gonna release his tentacles, grab it onto that one next to him as he tries, or rather, I guess it's the one. He needs to help the one that people are trying to hit. So he's gonna help beacon again to help hit the shadow.
Okay.
All
right.
He's like, we're trying to end this. And he's like, tentacles to grab onto this. I don't even know if it's big enough to grapple.
All right. Oh, are you grappling this guy?
Yes, the big.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem. Hold on 1 second. And it beats the save.
Oh, that's big. So, all right. And then that's how it was his try. So he's trying to do his try, and that's his move for that.
All right.
Bonusing, trying to help Beacon.
All right. Thorka, it's your turn.
Okay. First, with a bonus action, I would like to harness divine power, turning my channel divinity into a second level spell slot. And now I would like to attack.
Sounds good.
And there was no help this round, correct?
Correct. He helped Beacon.
Okay, cool. Alright, so first attack, 18 does not hit. Second attack, 21.
With the 21, it uses a reaction, casts a spell, and with that spell, the attack seems to hit some sort of shield, and it bounces off.
Okay, so that's my turn.
All right. So the shepherd, the demonic greed, is going to go. It's going to attack you, Beacon, again with all of its attacks. First with the claw, 21 against your AC.
I'm going to cast the last shield from my ring, and the shield
Alright.
will deflect that.
Sounds good. And then the second attack will be a 12, so that will miss.
Oh, yeah.
And then the shadows, this shadow is going to move over here. Oh, actually, this shadow can't move because it's grappled. Yep. So there's no movement. So these three shadows are going to attack Degas.
Huh.
20 against Degas' AC.
Nope.
15 and 19.
Oh. Things off an ion shell.
The last
Oh,
one is
okay.
going to attack Thorka, and that won't hit either. And then, yeah, from there, Jabu, it's your turn.
I'll just attack. Firebolt.
That'll hit.
I'm done.
Beacon, your turn.
All right. I'm going to.
And before
Yeah.
you go, I need you to make a wisdom saving
Right.
throw for me.
Wisdom saving throw. Huh. Great.
You pass.
Wonderful. So I'm going to cast a guiding bolt. 24 to hit with the guiding bolt.
That will hit.
And what would be this button? There. So 20 radiant damage.
It's going to take it.
The next attack roll made against this target before the end of Pika's turn has advantage as its glittering light envelops it.
All right, Tarek, it's your turn.
All right, Tarek is gonna bonus action hide.
You're as hidden as the quietest mouse you've ever seen.
Absolutely, and then he just comes flying out and just does what he does, is just do hits with a booming blade.
All right, you got advantage. And that will hit.
So he will take 25 points of damage, and then I will just move back back to where I was, and that'll end my turn. And just how is he looking when I hit him that last time?
I
What
mean,
does this
he
sucker
looks
look
like if anybody blew on him, he would fall over.
Okay.
Nice. Someone blow on him.
Daga, is it your turn to blow? Because it's your turn.
I'm gonna try to blow with tentacles.
But
Do it.
Daga, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw first for me.
Give it a try. It's hardest. Ugh. Scary. With 18.
That takes 17 psychic damage.
17. Oh. He's feeling it. He's looking at this thing, and it's not also feeling it, so he's gonna try again. Or DC 14 strength save.
The tentacles have no effect.
So this was it, and then he was trying to help. He helps Thorka this time. He's like, come on, buddy, we can do this.
Thorka, it is your turn.
All right, so I have advantage. So 2 strikes at it. 24,
That will hit.
and then 21,
That will hit.
and then the 24. I'll have my 2nd level smite on it.
All right.
42 points of damage.
As your weapon strikes into him, how would you like to kill him?
Just like plunging the sword into the chest and just having like a lightning bolt just strike him down, like almost like a lightning bolt hitting and splitting a tree.
As that happens, you see Greed shrink down into his normal form. The shadows start to disappear. Greed looks at you, Beacon, coughs. You will die eventually. And then he perishes, drifts away into the dust and the wind.
The guy kind of hits his knees like, this shell's so heavy.
Just don't touch the robes.
Jabu, when you touch the robes, you feel that they are not ethereal or incorporeal anymore. You can feel them and you can touch them and hold them.
Jabu, put it on. Let's see what happens.
Okay. I put the robes on.
So when you place the robes on you, the robes seem to get smaller and smaller until they actually physically fit you. They feel just amazing. And you're just surprised. Like, you can kind of move around with these robes on. You don't really have any issues with them. And yeah, you feel good.
I feel amazing in these robes.
You look good, man.
I give a crooked smile as I tip my head over. That's my good smile.
Well, interesting. We should go see. We should go. We should both go talk to Mahadi, I think. Taka.
I do an arcana check on these.
You can, yes.
You guys.
Beacon, you have the sword now. What
I
the
do.
heck?
I don't know. It's here. My angels. I need to contemplate this. My angels. I heard them for a
Do we
moment.
see Madi like just come out and come out now? Once you
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what people want. Me.
He misty steps forward. Jabu, just with that roll, you know that those are the robes of the Archmagi.
Are you serious? Holy shit!
Wow.
Holy shit, man.
Oh,
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Mahadi comes out to you and says, "Well, you definitely did what I asked, and you did give me the sword, and I did not expect for the sword to be sentient enough to come back to you. You did technically give it to me, so I'm not going to ask for it back. You followed the rules." And he kind of has this this kind of annoyed look to him.
That's it.
Well, at least you can now use your Coliseum again.
Aye, that's true. Yes, I'll be able to use the Colosseum and be able to make money on the Colosseum now that greed is gone, and you have defeated 2 out of the 7 sins. So great job. I'm glad that we don't have to deal with that anymore, and Asmodeus doesn't have to deal with that sin anymore.
Well, well, at least something. There's a gain there for you. With that.
Aye, that's why I'm less upset about the situation. Well, why don't we head over to the Emporium, and then from there you can just relax and spend the rest of the night there. We don't ask you to clean any bathhouses here.
The guy he says, I'm very weakened right now by the shadows. And if we could take it slow, I guess I would like to see your bathhouse.
I'll help Daga to I help carry him out of there, and I tell him we're gonna get you in the bed, you're gonna rest, and you're gonna feel a lot better soon. Okay, so just let me help you.
Aye, yes. That's fine. It's fine. I'm sure you'll all be fine in the morning. You just sleep it off.
When do we start our traveling?
Well, we'll start our traveling in the middle of the week, and then we'll get to our first location next week, and then we'll go from there. Just obviously be careful, and if there's anything that you need along the way, we'll figure out one way or another.
Okay. And when I start moving with Degas and getting him out of there.
All right.
Come on, Jabu. Let's go. Gotta show the people your new dashing look.
Okay.
We can make sure like Tegnum's alright and he got paralyzed a little bit.
From there, that is the end of the session today. I was surprised that you guys didn't have somebody who died to sin again, which is great job. From there, you did the best you could, and I hope that everything was very good. I had a few surprises for you there, and yeah, so everything is good, and we'll see what happens
that was
from there.
awesome. That was an awesome game, Ted.
Yeah, cool. Cool. Mahadi's fun.
From there, the players are going to talk at a game. We are going to stop the stream here. We will have this uploaded tomorrow on YouTube, and then my DM chatter in regards to everything will be uploaded usually a day or two after. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out on stream, guys, and we'll see you next week.